we have never hidden our position that we are in parliament for the ordinary people of Ghana. It is indeed true that we will use our new majority numbers to benefit Ghanaians by introducing private members' bill to remove the e-levy and to reduce the suffering of the people of Ghana. It is also true that we will use our new majority to remove the betting tax and other nuisance taxes. Already, this NPP government has made Ghana a high tax regime, and that it is affecting the survival.
For former Minister of Foreign Affairs and Ewutu Senior West MP Hannah Sewa Tete has raised thought-provoking questions regarding the Supreme Court's decision-making process. Her remarks come in the wake of the court's recent ruling that overturned Speaker of Parliament Alban Gbadwen's decision to oust 4 members of Parliament. Taking to her Facebook page, Hannah Tete questioned whether the justices of the Supreme Court consider public opinion and the broader social implications of their rulings, particularly in politically charged cases. The United Nations Secretary General Special Envoy for the Horn of Africa emphasized the significance of the judiciary's role in maintaining stability in Ghana's democratic system, especially as elections draw closer. When the justices of the Supreme Court take their decisions or make orders in whatever circumstances, not just in the context of the recent ex parte decision against the Speaker's ruling, do they listen to the public commentary and reflect on their decision, its implications, and how it has been received not only by the parties to the particular suit or in case with the political undertones? Hannah Tete asked. In her post, she acknowledged the expectation for the judiciary to interpret the law impartially and ensure its fair application. Vice President and New Patriotic Party flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has reminded the opposition NDC that parliamentary majority is achieved through wins at the polling station level within constituencies, not manufactured in Parliament. This follows Thursday's dramatic events in Parliament where the Speaker declared 4 seats held by MPs contesting the 2024 elections on different tickets as vacant. This reduced the MPP seat count and briefly granted the NDC a majority status. However, within 24 hours, the Supreme Court granted a stay of execution, nullifying the Speaker's ruling until the substantive case seeking an interpretation of the relevant constitutional article is heard. Addressing this development, Dr. Bawumia taunted the NDC for holding a majority for only 24 hours, emphasizing that parliamentary majorities cannot be manufactured within the chambers of Parliament.
Choway, enti ehia paase yetu abanoma Dr. Bawumia, but ehia more so say yantu abamano Emma Joseph Frimpong because ye pay parliamentary majority. And yes, sir, ye ko munim said the TSC omu hayeno 137 enra echi omuye adie bi wo parliament kase omuni majority samotiye anyway omuya 24 hours majority anjebia baby 24-hour majority no omunyaye the shortest living majority that I know of in history 24-hour majority na omunyaye na adiana I want to say me person omo tie say per majority come to the polling station, come to the constituency, win an election, and then go to Parliament. You untina Parliament to manufacture a majority for yourself. And yes, sir, we will meet them in the constituencies, we will meet them at the polling stations. And what I can assure you, from what I know, over 200 constituencies, I've campaigned on the
Still on elections, the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has once again reaffirmed his strong opposition to the introduction of LGBTQ practices into Ghanaian society, stating that it goes against the country's religious beliefs and cultural values. Speaking to clergy, traditional leaders, and stakeholders in Enyinem during the Eastern Regional Tour, Dr. Bawumia emphasized that both the Bible and the Quran, as well as the core tenets of Ghanaian traditions, do not support LGBTQ plus activities. He was addressing the audience after the Member of Parliament for Etiwa East, Abena Osei Asari, commissioned a newly constructed constituency office. Dr. Bawumia declared that under his leadership, the MPP will resolutely oppose any attempt to introduce LGBTQ plus ideologies into Ghana, regardless of external pressures or costs involved. Alan Tremantin, leader and presidential candidate of the Afro-Francois Alliance, has assured Ghanaians that his victory will usher in an era of peace and prosperity. He made the statement whilst addressing a massive crowd after the successful Afro-Francois mega victory walk in Kumasi. The walk, which attracted hundreds of thousands of participants, turned the streets of the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi. Meanwhile, Alan Tremantin used the occasion to express his profound gratitude to Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, the Asantehene, for granting him permission to hold the event on Ashanti land. He also thanked the revered king for his continued support and blessings of the Great Transformational Plan, which remains the cornerstone of his presidential campaign. Speaking to the massive crowd, Mr. Tremantin said, "I am standing here today because of the Asante spirit in me. We are Santis and we are not cowards. When you kill 1,000 more will come facing you," referencing the resilience and warrior spirit of the Asante kingdom that has inspired him throughout his political journey. Away from politics and elections-related matters, Bishop Salifu Amoako, father of the 16-year-old boy involved in a tragic accident that claimed the lives of 2 young girls in the East Legon on October 12, 2024, has called for calm, asking Ghanaians to stop speculating about the incident. Addressing his congregation at Alive Chapel International on Sunday, October 20, the prominent religious leader expressed frustration with the ongoing discussions surrounding the accident, which he described as an unfortunate event rather than a deliberate act. Bishop Amoako defended his son, clarifying that the boy had not committed an intentional crime. He stressed it was an accident, adding that his son did not carry a gun to kill anybody.
In the court, you don't go to court to fight, you go to court to interpret the law. You was a media or you go to church and you were not doing that, you were not arrested. When the tears are not most of some of you went there to mess up. You don't know that but now you should be in jail. Some of you say, so it's you. I don't expect any one of you. The insurance I'm not calling you to come and fight for me. The first listen to me. I'm not calling you a friend to come and fight for me. So go out there and insult people on my behalf. I can hire you. You know, man. Yesterday a lawyer sent a clip here. You know, that I shall allow him to talk for me on TV. Said, no, look, I don't know TV. So I told him to tell him that I don't need it. I said, it's not important. Don't hate me. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Keep quiet. One thing. Go on to look for your daily bread. And once you're getting don't go put yourself in trouble. And if I want to perform on you, and then disgrace yourself and disgrace the church. And you go home, any answer you must say. Let us be a wise family. Please, I'm telling you, what you want to do, don't go for you have no idea what has happened to you.
Ghana Police Service has dismissed reports circulating in the media that claim activist Oliver Bakavomawo was beaten by officers while in custody. In a statement released on Sunday, October 20, the police described the allegations as false and baseless, urging the public to disregard them as an attempt by Bakavomawo and his supporters to garner public sympathy. The police clarified that Vomawo, who is being prosecuted by the Office of the Attorney General, was granted bail by the High Court on Wednesday, October 16. The bail was set at 20,000 Ghana cedis with 2 sureties without justification. However, multiple efforts to execute the bail have been unsuccessful due to the accused's inability to secure the necessary sureties. That's all for the headlines this morning. ABC in the Morning comes up shortly. Do stay with us.
Over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing healthcare for expectant mothers, we've strengthened the fabric of our society. But our work isn't done. We are committed to further enhancing these programs and introducing new initiatives to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to thrive. Vote for progress. Vote for care. Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business. In 2017, the NPP inherited an infrastructure network in need of renewal. We've since focused on building modern, resilient infrastructure, expanding roads, railways, and housing through strong partnerships with the private sector. As we enter the next chapter, a revitalized public works department will lead maintenance, with local governments enhancing district roads. We are committed to expanding railways and upgrading airports to connect Ghana for a stronger future. While much has been achieved, there's still more to do. Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
2017, the NPP inherited a fragmented digital infrastructure that limited public service efficiency. Since then, we've revolutionized how services are delivered with the Ghana card and mobile money interoperability, enhancing speed and accessibility. Our efforts have greatly improved government interactions, making life easier for every Ghanaian. However, our vision doesn't stop here. We aim to further expand and modernize Ghana's digital landscape. The journey towards a fully integrated digital society continues. Stand with us. Vote for innovation. Vote for Bawumia.
100 leading companies, 100 coveted business awards. This is the Ghana Club 100, powered by GIPC. It's time to honor Ghanaian companies that have stood the test of time, made an impact, and are blazing the trail in their respective industries. Join us for the 21st edition of the Ghana Club 100 Awards on Friday, October 25th, 2024 at 6 p.m. at the Palms at La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. Purchase your tickets now via the USSD short code *365*2100#. Alternatively, you can call 0243-534-559 or 0247-600-860 to RSVP. This event is under the auspices of the Office of the President, Ranking Partner, KPMG, Ticket Partner, Koba, Diamond Sponsors, Platinum Sponsors, Gold Sponsors, Supporting Sponsors, Beverage Sponsors, Media Partner, ABC News TV, Ghana Club 100.
And welcome to ABC in the Morning Live on ABC News GH, on our YouTube channel SABC News GH. We're so glad to come to you this beautiful Monday morning, 21st October in the year of our Lord 2024. I am Abuna Manti, and it's an honor to present ABC in the morning to you this morning. We'll be bringing you the news, the insights, the trends, and every single thing you need for a complete day. And as usual, today's show is a packed one. The stories are riveting and the discussions will be engaging. So you want to stay with us as we carefully look at the issues that have taken over the airwaves. Today is Monday. We begin the week, and I encourage you to look at the week with all of the positivity that you can muster and all of the energy you can draw from within, because for the week to go as successfully as you need it, it starts from today. So look at the week with all of the positive energy that you can, and I assure you that you will conquer the week, and by the time the week is ending, you'll be a better person for it. It is ABC in the morning. It is a great day, and we are going to enjoy a very wonderful show that brings us everything we need for a successful day. Let's get back, and we will be coming with Front Story. Watching ABC in the morning. We'll be getting into our front story real soon, but before that, let us take a look at what is trending on the various news portals. For all of your credible news, you should be visiting abcnewsgh.com for the timely news, for the trustworthy news and news as it breaks. On ABC News GH, the NDC plans to repeal e-levy following their new status in Parliament as they seek to be the majority in Parliament at the moment. The NDC says they are committing themselves to repealing e-levy and the betting tax. Bawumia also vows to resist LGBTQ+ at all costs, and he said this at one of the rallies in the Eastern region. And the former education minister, who was also the running mate to the flag bearer of the NPP, Matthew Opoku Prempeh, says that free SHS never compromised the quality of education. Free SHS never compromised quality of education. And the Supreme Court have ruled that the NPP remains majority in Parliament. Let's take a look at Joy Online, my Joy Online. Hannah Teta questions the recent ruling by the Supreme Court, and she's asking if the Supreme Court justices consider public opinion. So she says, do Supreme Court justices consider public opinion? And Okujetwa Blakwa, MP for South Tong, North Tong, says that Parliament makes laws, it does not interpret them. And Mahama Ayariga also says that Ghana needs knowledgeable judges in its Supreme Court. Mahama Ayariga says that. And Salifu Amwako says that it was an accident. My son did not carry a gun to kill anyone. On City Newsroom, City News says that Salifu Amwako says, stop talking. My son did not kill anyone with a gun. Stop talking. My son didn't kill anyone with a gun. And Atuforsen says that we will jealously protect our new majority status. Atuforsen, the leader of the NDC caucus in Parliament, says the NDC would jealously protect their new majority status. And the police also deny beating Oliver Bakavoma, with the police deny beating him. And Sam George says that we will occupy majority side in Parliament on Tuesday. Sam George says that the NDC will occupy majority side in Parliament on Tuesday. So these are some of the news on the news portals. For your credible news, for your timely news, for the news as it breaks, visit our website www.abcnewsgh.com, www.abcnewsgh.com. Also interact with us on social media via our social media handles, and the handle is at abcnewsgh_, at abcnewsgh_. Let's get straight into our front story for today. The Ghana Education Service has released the 2024-2025 academic calendar for the basic and senior high schools. Over the past week, the Ghana Education Service released the calendar, and today we will be taking a closer look into the education sector as the Ghana Education Service, GES, has released the 2024-2025 academic calendar for basic schools and the second cycle institutions, the senior high schools. This follows shortly after WAEC, the West Africa Examination Council, released the provisional results for the 2024 Basic Education Certificate Examination BECE results. And the academic year, as released by the Ghana Education Service, begins on Wednesday, October 30, 2024. The academic year for the 2024-2025 academic year begins on Wednesday, October 30, 2024 for all senior high schools, whereas the current first-year students in transitional calendar schools will end their 2023-2024 academic year on Monday, October 28, 2024, a week from today, and be promoted to Form 2 to continue with the new academic year immediately. So as soon as they end their 2023-2024 academic year, on 30th, they will be starting their Form 2 in the 2024-2025 academic year. This was in a press release by the GES, and it was signed by Prince Ajimendua, who is the Director for Schools and Instructions Division. According to this statement by the GES, the incoming first-year students for the single track and transitional schools would begin school on Wednesday, October 30, 2024. Also, all continuing students in single track schools would reopen for the new academic year on Wednesday, October 30, 2024. And the Ghana Education Service has further explained that this arrangement is to ensure that the school calendar reverts to September starting in the coming years, and students will be able to write their 2024-2025 WASSCE in May, June 2025. So all of these adjustments, the GES says, have been made so that the calendar will go back to what we knew before all of the changes happened, the September calendar. Also, so that WASSCE students would take or sit for their final exams in May, June, which is the calendar that we already knew before the changes happened. Let's take a look at the press statements by GES and the new academic calendar they will be going by for 2024-2025 academic year. So GES addressed this statement to all regional directors of education and says 2024-2025 academic calendar for second cycle institutions. Management of the Ghana Education Service, GES, wishes to inform heads of all second cycle institutions of the 2024-2025 academic calendar. The academic year begins on Wednesday, 30th October 2024 for all second cycle institutions. Please note that the current first year students in transitional calendar schools will end their 2023-2024 academic year on 28th October and be promoted to Form 2 and continue with the academic year immediately. Incoming first-year students for single track and transitional schools will also begin school on Wednesday, 30th October 2024. Additionally, all continuing students in single track schools will reopen for the new academic year on Wednesday, 30th October 2024. This reopening date aims to ensure that the school calendar reverts to a September start in the coming years, and the students will be able to write their 2024-2025 WASSCE in May-June 2025. By a copy of this letter, regional directors are directed to communicate to all heads of second cycle institutions to ensure full implementation. This is the calendar for the 2024-2025 academic year. So on the left on your screens is the 2024-2025 transitional academic calendar. So for Form 3s, they are in school from 3rd January 2025 to 14th April 2025. Also from 23rd April 2025 to 23rd August 2025. They will break from school on 17th. They will break from school on 17th of April 2025 till 22nd April 2025. And after 29th August, they would have ended their academic calendar. So for those in the transitional academic, so those who are doing transitional schooling, they will start school. They already started. They will start school in 3rd January 2025 and end in 29th August 2025. So that is for Form 3s. They will end the academic year in 29th January 2025. This is for Form 2 students. They are starting on 30th October 2024 and ending on 5th December 2024. They'll start school from 30th October 2024 and end on 5th December 2024. So from 30th up until 5th December, they will be in school. They will then return on 10th February 2025 and vacate on 23rd May 2025. Again, these Form 2s will return on 28th July 2025 and vacate on 17th October 2025. Let's continue with the academic calendar for primary schools. The academic calendar for basic education, for basic schools. This is the academic calendar for 2024-2025 for KG, that's kindergarten, primary, and JHS. So for their first term, it will comprise 14 weeks. For those in JHS 3, they will be in school from 10th September 2024 till 19th December 2024. They will vacate on 20th December 2024 and reopen on 7th January 2024. Again, they will be in school from 8th January from 2025 till 17th April 2025 and will vacate on 18th April 2025 up until 5th May 2025. Their third term will start on 6th May 2025 and will write their BEC in July 2025. For those in kindergarten up until JHS 2, they will be in school from 10th September 2024 up until 19th December 2024. They will then vacate on 20th December 2024 and reopen on 8th January 2025. They will also go on vacation on 18th April to 5th May 2025 and will resume for their third term on 6th May 2025 up until 24th July 2025 when they will end their academic year. This will give all of them 40 weeks of contact, 40 weeks of contact with their teachers. And the proposed 2-year exam dates will bring back the calendar to normal so that BEC can be written in April and the WASSCE in May, June. So these are the proposed dates for WASSCE in 2025, July, August, and the proposed dates for BEC in 2025 will be in June. And in 2026, that is when they are looking at reverting. WASSCE's dates will be May, June, and BEC will be in June. So this is what the Ghana Education Service has put out there for parents and guardians to take note of, and for heads of institutions to also pay attention to. However, this development has generated some concerns from the public over the shortened classroom hours. Some have argued that the reduced contact hours may impact the quality of education, particularly for students who are already struggling to catch up after disruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Some people have raised concerns, and let's take a reaction from social media. This is from Johnson Amenuveve Buama, and he says that who is doing the Ghana Education Service and the Ministry of Education? Let me just take the case of the current Form 1 students who have started their exams and will be in Form 2 on 30th October 2024. The current Form 1 students reported to school on 30th September 2024 and will end the semester on 27th October 2024. In total, they have spent 2 weeks in class and are using 2 weeks to write their end of first year second semester examinations. Within these 2 weeks, they've arrived, they've cleaned campus and arranged their items and tables and chairs. Some students are even yet arriving just to start exams. Now their Form 2 starts on October 30th, 2024 and ends on 5th December 2024. These students will spend 27 days in school. Take note, 27 days in the classroom for teaching and learning. For examination, I can't tell whether there will be another circular to that effect. But they are spending 27 days for a whole term. Then their vacation starts from 6th December 2024 to 9th February 2025. That is 65 days for education. So this is some for vacation. These are some of the reactions from social media, from persons who are concerned about this release by GES. We have joining us Honorable Peter Notchu Kotoi, who is a ranking member on education in Parliament, and also the MP for Akachi North. Good morning, Honorable. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, and how are you doing?
Fine, thank you, sir. I hope you're also doing well.
Very well, too.
Honorable, parents have raised concerns about the quality of education and that this new structure. How does Parliament's Education Committee plan to ensure that students receive the adequate instructional time and resources?
Thank you very much, and good morning to you and your listeners and viewers as well. The fact of the matter is that it's not only parents who are worried about the current developments concerning the school calendar. Every meaningful Ghanaian, every Ghanaian who thinks education is going to a ditch or has collapsed in this country is worried about it. First year students reported to school on 28 September. And on 28th October, they are ending the semester. And then promoted to the next class the third day. What type of school administration is this? What assessment have the school authorities done on these students, and they are being promoted to the next class without end of semester examination? Nothing at all. Then they are going to the next class. In any case, how many weeks have they done as a first-year group of students. We are demanding that from the education authorities. So for me, there's no head and tail of our educational system as far as the secondary school level is concerned. The issue is that government has failed woefully to address the infrastructure needs of the schools. If you are blaming this on COVID, what about the other West African countries? Togo here, they have streamlined their educational calendar. All the other members of WAEC have streamlined their calendars to the normal calendar from September to August. Why is Ghana unable to do so? So in a failed state like this is what is happening. So I sympathize with parents as well as the teachers and students. But I can assure them that coming next year, things will change for the better.
Well, Honorable, at the moment, what is the Education Committee going to do about this issue?
What can the committee do? Because the infrastructure is not there. It is the infrastructure that will solve this problem. Unless all the 3-year schools go to school at the same time, we cannot solve the problem. So as a committee, there's nothing we can do. We cannot ask the students to remain home. That will even worsen the situation. You remember last year when I raised the issue on the floor of the House, the answers the minister came to give did not give encouragement to anybody. So this time I will not bother my head. I'm only praying that the year ends, Ghanaians elect a new government, and then we can change things for the better.
Well, you're saying that it is only infrastructure that can solve the issue. However, there's an education committee in Parliament, so it means that you still have some time to deliberate on matters. How will the committee monitor the impact of these changes over the course of the academic year to ensure that they achieve the intended objectives?
Has little to do about this because government is in charge and we monitor the activities of government. We have said it several times, and there seems to be no response positively from government. They will tell you, we are working on it, we are working on it. We cannot sanction government or the Ministry of Education. It is government itself that must make sure that these are the issues the committee has raised. How do we solve the problem? They are not doing it. So, my sister, as a committee, we are fed up with this government, and we will not waste our time on the government again. There's only left for the Ghanaians now to rise themselves and correct the situation.
Well, Honorable, in the short time frame we have till the end of the year, the students are going back to school. Stakeholders fear that the shortened calendar may impact greatly on the curriculum's coverage and the students' performance. Before all of this happened, has there been any consultation with teachers and school administrators on how to manage this potential challenge? Have any of these come up to you as a committee member?
Oh, you are very much aware that we have called for a review of the program several times, and the government is not ready to do so. They are not ready to do so. Even the IMF asked them, they promised they would do it. We went to IMF more than a year now. They have not done it. So anybody who is wasting his time or her time now on these free research that we want to meet government and do, government will not do it. They are not ready to do it. So the time that we need to do it must come. And as a committee, we are not going to call for any meeting with the minister. I will not be part of it because he has not listened to us. Government has not listened to us, and we decided that we will keep quiet. They said they will go on holidays on 5th or so December. So those who the so-called first years who will be going probably next week will have only a few days or 1 month to be in school and then go on holidays and come back. So the whole thing is distorted. Parents don't know when their children are going to vacate, when they will go back to school. I don't know what type of disorganized educational system we are operating now.
Okay. Thank you for speaking with us, Honorable.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Honorable Peter Nochukotue is the MP for Akachi North, and he is a ranking member on the Education Committee in Parliament. We have joining us Peter Anti, who is the Executive Director for the Institutes for Education Service. We will be speaking with him on this issue to take what he thinks on it and how we can better improve the system. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
This is ABC News GH. We are discussing the academic calendar as released by the GES. Many stakeholders, parents and guardians included, have raised concerns about the calendar and have bemoaning the quality of education their awards will be getting from these shortened academic calendars that have been running all through since COVID. How does Ghana's new academic calendar compare with international standards, sir?
Good morning. Hi. Greetings to your viewers and listeners. I think that this is not a new issue. We have been used to this erratic academic calendar for some time now, and it's because we experienced almost a 1 year school shutdown during the COVID period, and so in most places there were attempts made to ensure that the academic calendar is brought to the original period of education, which in Ghana runs between August and May, June. So that is what we've been struggling to achieve for the past years. And I know that you are aware that parents have been complaining. For example, last year, there were serious complaints from parents because of the time given them to prepare to take their awards to school. And I know this year would not, it's also not an exception. So that is that. Definitely, when you are going through this kind of revision period, there will be some students or a cohort of students that would have to pay the price, or you have to sacrifice some periods so that you'll be able to restore your academic calendar. What my problem has been is that we have not been able.
Hello, Peter Anti.
The challenges. Hello?
Yes. Kindly speak out a bit for us so that we can hear you very
what
clearly.
I'm saying is that what my problem has been is that we've not been able to adequately address the concerns of parents. Although it is good for the school calendar to be normalized, I think that we have not been able to really pay attention to the concerns of parents and by extension other stakeholders, and that is where I have a problem with. So, irrespective of the fact that you would have to sacrifice some group in order that you restore your academic calendar, you still have to pay attention to the concerns that parents have been raising over the years, especially with the number of days that some of the students are spending on campus. At least there should be alternative measures to ensure that these students still get the quality of teaching and the periods required for them to be able to cover the curricula. So that's been the challenge. But most of the other countries have been able to restore their academic calendar too.
Well, Peter, that's why we are asking if at the moment, with all of these happening, is Ghana able to meet the international standards for education?
Well, so if you are talking about international standards, then you have to bring in some parameters. So what parameters are you looking at? The number of contract hours that students are supposed to get? Are you looking at the number of days that students spend in school? Are you looking at the settings of the environment of delivery for education? Are you looking
more importantly, we are looking at the contact hours between the students and their tutors.
Of course, that we have already established, and I think that you did not even need an expert to tell you that the students are not getting the required number of periods, they need in order for them to cover the curricula. And I think I've mentioned that already. And if you are doing that, it means that you are sacrificing a particular group of students to ensure that you restore your academic calendar. And that's what I'm saying, that in that perspective, you would have to communicate that to the stakeholders, to parents, so that parents are aware that these are the measures that you are putting in place. And because of that, there's definitely a group of students that are going to suffer from that particular decision. You know, anytime you are introducing a new reform in the curriculum space, you know that there's a group that definitely suffers from that. You can look at the transition from A level to junior high school, senior high school. There will definitely be a group that will suffer from that particular kind of reform or challenge that you would want to address. But my problem is that it seems the managers of higher education have not taken the concerns of parents into heart, and they have not made adequate provisions to address these concerns or to explain to them in clear terms the implications of the decision to restore the academic calendar. I think that is the biggest problem that we have. And that is why we continue to talk about this like we did last year, like we did last 2 years, and we are doing this year.
Dr. Anti, many have said that other countries who were also equally hit by COVID have been able to regroup and go back to a very streamlined calendar where their students are having the best of the education they can get. What is impeding Ghana's movement towards a streamlined road? Because at the moment, we still keep going back to the issue of COVID-19, that it is COVID-19 that has destabilized the academic calendar. But what are other countries doing right that we seem to be lacking?
Well, if you ask me what are the reasons why we've not been able to do that, maybe the principal reason is that in most of our schools now at the secondary level, we are running double track. And I'm not really aware of any country in Anglophone West Africa that is running double track at the secondary level. And the running of double track would mean that you have to now redesign your calendar in such a way that at any point in time there's a cohort of students that are in school. And that is the biggest problem, because you have increased your enrollment and you want everybody to have access to education at the secondary level. So you would have to now rearrange in such a way that all these cohorts get a certain period of contact hours in their various schools. So that is the principal challenge. The running of the double track that we were told was supposed to be with us for a period of 3 to 5 years and maximum 7 years is what is really causing. If we were doing single track, you would have noticed that it would have been easy for government to revert to the original calendar. But because you are running double tracks and you need a certain number of periods for each group or cohort to be in school, you will definitely have challenges restoring your academic calendar.
Thank you for speaking with us this morning, Dr. Anti.
You're welcome.
Dr. Peter Anti is the Executive Director for the Institute for Education Studies, IFEST. Dr. Anti says that the double track system is obviously the principal challenge in our whole education sector at the moment, and it is for that reason why we are seeing some of these lags with the education system, and that government and stakeholders, the leadership, government should pay particular attention to some of the concerns that parents and stakeholders have raised. He says that government is not paying too much attention to what parents and stakeholders have raised concerning the academic calendar and the education system at the moment. So if government would pay attention to it, we should be able to find a headway as we move forward. Honorable Peter Nochukotoi said that at the moment, government has not listened to anything the Education Committee in Parliament has been saying. And if the Education Ministry calls them to a meeting or wants to come back to them, he will not be a part of this conversation. He is saying that Ghanaians should look forward to next year when Ghanaians have voted for the NDC, so that there will be a shift or a change in the academic or the education sector of the country. The conversation this morning on Front Story is GES. GES has released the academic calendar for the 2024-2025 academic year. This release has sparked so many concerns amongst Ghanaians, especially with the amount of contacts our students are getting in school and the short periods that they have to stay in school and then go back home. At the moment, those in Form 1 will be vacating on 28th October, and on 30th of October, they're expected to start their Form 2 education. All of these are concerns that many have raised about the academic calendar. But GES also says that all of these shifts is so that in the nearest future, we can revert to the old calendar that we were using as Ghanaians before COVID struck and distorted the academic calendar. This is all for Front Story this morning on ABC in the Morning Live on ABC News GH. Let's take a breather. We will be back.
5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia #1 on the ballot.
Watching ABC in the morning on ABC News GH. We're streaming live on YouTube. The channel is ABC News GH, so that you don't miss anything happening on ABC News GH. Let's get straight into sports, where we are updated with all that is happening in the world of sports. Stay with us. We will be back.
Hello there, good morning and welcome to the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. My name is Derek Kumiki. Now let's dive into the world of sports as the Black Satellite secure the first victory in the Under-20 Wafu B Cup of Nations Championship with a 2-0 win over Niger on Sunday, October 20. Ghana's triumph was powered by 2 second-half goals from Aziz Mosbao, which secured a crucial win in their second Group A match after a 2-2 draw against Benin in their opening game. Ghana came into the fixture determined to earn all 3 points. Similarly, Niger was also looking for their first win, having drawn 2-2 with Togo in their first match. Both teams started strongly, creating numerous chances within the opening 30 minutes, but neither could break the deadlock before halftime. The breakthrough for Ghana came in the 63rd minute when Mosbao unleashed a long-range effort that beat the Nigerian goalkeeper, putting the Black Satellite ahead. Just 10 minutes later, Mosbao doubled the lead. Positioned in the final third, he received a well-placed square pass from Jerry Efie and calmly slotted it home, securing his brace and reaching the lead for Coach Ofei's team. Despite a determined response from Niger, the Black Satellites maintained their composure, defending solidly to keep a clean sheet and close out the win. The result leaves Ghana with 4 points after 2 games, heading into their final group match against Togo on Wednesday, October 23. This tournament also serves as a qualifier for the Under-20 African Cup of Nations, set to take place next year. And now Dreams FC winless starts to the season continue as they play out a goalless draw with Hearts of Oak at the Tuba Shootav in Kokrobite. Hearts of Oak struggling for a consistency this season were once held in a frustrating stalemate, making their third 0-0 draw in 4 matches, despite ending their run of goalless draw with a victory against Young Apostle in their previous match. This was what Dreams FC coach Abdul Karim Zito had to say after the match.
Speed and then thinking. So these are the qualities because when you look at it, like you see, before you shoot, you have to set. And when you set, the personality aggressiveness is another point. So this is what we are lacking, and we are putting into them. They are young boys from Division 1, Division 2, speed and then thinking. So these are the qualities because when you look at it, like you see, before you shoot, you have to set. And when you set, the personality aggressiveness is another point. So this is what we are lacking, and we are putting into them. They are young boys from.
Now the draw leaves Hearts of Oak in 9th place on the table, while Dreams FC remains stuck in the relegation zone. Hearts will face a tough test against current league leaders BBN Gold Stars in their next match, while Dreams FC will look to turn things around against Young Apostles. Now let's do some international sports as Mohamed Kudus is at risk of an extended sanction after his meltdown in the closing stage of West Ham a defeat to Tottenham. The 24-year-old will now be suspended for the Hammers' next fixture against Manchester United this weekend. A final decision will be announced in the coming days, but for now, Kudus will only miss the Red Devils clash. Violent conduct offences are of a minimum 3-game ban, but for former referee Mike Dean said on Sky Sport that Kudus should receive a stricter punishment.
Screen, seeing it, now changed to a red card. It took us 10 seconds to see that. Was that easy?
Why have they taken so long, Dino?
I just said to the lads before, when it actually happens live, the referee's got to make an on-field decision first. So Andy thinks coming together, yellow cards, which is fine. Has to make an on-field decision before the VR can get involved. But when you see the footage back, the first one he could have got sent off for, which you're hoping he has, then hopefully the second one, the FA will then take retrospective action, which will get done twice in my opinion, because he's hit 2 different players in the face on 2 occasions. He should do.
Wow. And that's how we wrap up the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. For more news update, please log on our website at www.abcnewsgh.com. I am Derek Kumi Kisiedu. Have a good morning.
Mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Kaneshie.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
Two to one.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Kaneshie.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
Two to one.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to the Tech Trick segment here on ABC in the morning. And of course, here on the segment, we talk everything tech inclined. So we help you so you shape your technological skills and of course, how to prevent certain uncertainties from happening. So today, what are we looking at? We are paying attention to how to avoid being spied on WhatsApp. A lot of times, most of you do complain that you get some hackers being hacking into your WhatsApp accounts, even though you have some settings on your phone. So today we're here to assist you on what you should do and some things you should also take note of just in case you feel a suspected invasion of your privacy. So we're talking about some everyday measures that can minimize the risk of being spied on your WhatsApp, and here are the main ones. So the first one we would talk about is that don't leave your phone unattended. Yes, so it's very important to always keep your phone with you or in secure place. Now, an unattended phone can quickly compromise, allowing malicious individuals to install surveillance app. It means that for those of you who always get messages on your phone and you do not attend to it, sometimes lots of people who are nearby watching your phone can easily see what has popped up on your phone, and they can easily act fast on that. So you don't have to leave your phone unattended to prevent a nearby person from also invading into your privacy. Are we good? I think so. Anyways, on to another point. So we're talking about always lock your phone. Secure your mobile device with a strong password, a PIN, or you can lock your pattern or use a biometric method like a fingerprint or a facial recognition. Now this adds a layer of security if you misplace your phone or lose sight of it. Now it's very relative, because most of you do have some strong password that you can't even remember, and it really affects you in nearby. So just go easy when setting on your password. Just remember what you want to type again should you forget about it. It's very important, so you can also prevent a third party from not being invading into your privacy, just in case you don't want such thing to be compromised. So guys, let's move on. So be cautious with the links and attachment. Now this is very important. Oftentimes you do get a lot of messages on our WhatsApp. Someone from nowhere sent you a link, then it tells you click on this link. And because you are not inclined with these tech effects, you also just open it and you click on it. It could be a spam, it could be a hacker, it could be a hacking technology that someone has sent to you. So just avoid it. Now, by avoiding clicking on these links, by opening these attachments and unknown and trusted sources in emails or SMS or website, these elements may also contain malware designed to infiltrate your device to also steal your information. So if you're there and someone sends you an unknown messages, a link to copy, kindly hold on. You don't have to be swift in just clicking on the link. Just be patient before you click on somebody's information that also could also infringe your own accessibility of information. Then again, you also have to stay informed about latest spying methods. So staying informed about the latest spying methods will also help you better recognize manipulations attempt and better protect your personal information. Now, so how to know if someone is using WhatsApp web to spy your conversation? I think this is a very important conversation. So let's look at how, if somebody is spying on your WhatsApp, you would know. So to check if someone has access to your WhatsApp account via WhatsApp web, open WhatsApp on your phone. So this is a practical method, okay? Open WhatsApp web on your phone, go straight to your menu, and of course there's a 3 vertical dot over there. So just select the linked device button over there. Then you will see a list of all the active sessions over there. So if you notice a session you don't recognize, you just have to disconnect it immediately. Okay, it's that simple. You just have to disconnect it. Now, what are the signs that may, you would see if someone has infected your system with a spyware? Now, signs of spyware infection may include a sudden increase in data usage, decreased phone performances, overheating for no apparent reason, and of course, unusual activities like app closing or opening on their own. So sometimes you'll be there and all of a sudden your phone is just is off, is overheating. You don't even know what actually is happening on your phone. It means that somebody somewhere has had access into your WhatsApp account and is just playing around with it. So just be careful on that unusual activity and of course those links you click on. So what to do if you discover a spyware on your phone, okay? So if you suspect a spyware on your phone, the first step is to uninstall it and change all your important password. Install a reliable antivirus software and restore your phone to factory setting if necessary to remove any. It's that simple, okay? Just uninstall it. Just uninstall it if you have any misunderstanding of what is going on your WhatsApp, so it can actually help you on that. Now let's wrap up with the final point and see how to protect your WhatsApp account from being spied. So it's just a practical steps, as I was saying. So you have to enable two-step factory verification on your WhatsApp account settings to add an extra layer of security. Now also be careful with whom you share your phone and monitor app permissions to ensure no malicious app has access to your messages, okay? Then again, it is safe to back your WhatsApp conversations to iCloud. Most of you do ask, especially for those of you who use WhatsApp on iPhone. You keep asking, is it okay to back up your WhatsApp conversations? Well, backing up on your WhatsApp conversations can be safe as long as you use reliable cloud services and maintain good security practices like strong password and two-factor authentication for your cloud account. However, be aware that any backup stored online could potentially become a target for hackers. Okay, so it's very important to also set two-step verification on your WhatsApp. Now, two-step verification also adds an extra layer of security to your WhatsApp accounts by requiring a PIN code, so you set up with registration and enable your account on these features. So it's also very necessary to have these on your account as well. So in conclusion, what are we talking about? It is very necessary to know all of these just in case you're being spied on your WhatsApp. Now you know how to protect yourself from malicious people and what steps you need to take if you feel that somebody is hacking inside your account. So be vigilant and against potential dangerous activities related to WhatsApp, then also protect your personal data. That's it on Tech Trick. Catch us on next episode. My name is Eric Mello.
2017, the NPP inherited a fragmented digital infrastructure that limited public service efficiency. Since then, we've revolutionized how services are delivered with the Ghana card and mobile money interoperability, enhancing speed and accessibility. Our efforts have greatly improved government interactions, making life easier for every Ghanaian. However, our vision doesn't stop here. We aim to further expand and modernize Ghana's digital landscape. The journey towards a fully integrated digital society continues. Stand with us. Vote for innovation. Vote for Baumia.
In 2017, the NPP inherited an infrastructure network in need of renewal. We've since focused on building modern, resilient infrastructure, expanding roads, railways, and housing through strong partnerships with the private sector. As we enter the next chapter, a revitalized public works department will lead maintenance, with local governments enhancing district roads. We are committed to expanding railways and upgrading airports to connect Ghana for a stronger future. While much has been achieved, there's still more to do. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business. Over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing healthcare for expectant mothers, we've strengthened the fabric of our society. But our work isn't done. We are committed to further enhancing these programs and introducing new initiatives to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to thrive. Vote for progress. Vote for care. Vote for...
You're still watching ABC in the morning. Kissy Edu and Melo brought you the latest in sports and how to take care of your devices. And it's very necessary that you pay attention so that nobody gets into your device to hack you and then get into your personal effects. It's not nice at all when someone is hacking your device. Not nice at all. But let's get straight into Ghana Speaks, where your voice matters and we hear what you have to say, especially as we are inching towards the elections. Just a few weeks and Ghanaians will be going to the polls. Today on Ghana Speaks, we are bringing you Adenta constituency.
Times are hard in Ghana, extremely hard.
As we gear towards the 2024 general elections, there have been conversations around having a presidential debate. Will it happen or not? This is Ghana Speaks.
To another section of Ghana Speaks here on ABC News Ghana. This is Ghana Speaks, where we engage with constituents, we engage with the Ghanaian for them to tell us their mind, what they have on pressing issues around the country. Today, we are live from the Adenta constituency in the Greater Accra region. As we have done before, or as we have been doing, we engage with the constituents of these constituencies for them to assess the parliamentary candidate of their constituencies. And in Adenta constituency, we have two key contenders. The NPP presenting Akosua Manu to contest with Ramadan of the NDC, who is the sitting MP for the area. We will be looking at what these gentlemen and the woman here make of these two candidates and what they are looking out for come December 7. I am Samuel Nimawo. Mami Pacho, Pacho Emma, good morning.
Morning.
Pacho, obetima bodin actually.
Me divide upon.
Pacho, divide upon. Big man, what's your name, please?
Sapon Derek.
And you are? Wisdom Awobega. My gentleman at the far left, what's Kofi Enim? All right, so these are the four electorates within the Adenta constituencies that would be telling me what they make of the two contenders, the assessment of the current MP, Ramadan, and his main contender, Akosua Manu, from the NPP. Mami, yen shas ye every ho. O share two nkrofo mienu a omo pre apɛ MP ɛwɔ Adenta constituency mu ha ɛwɔ Akosua Manu ne Ramadan. O share mu mienu a wine and our share say o share obetimi aboa Adenta for power.
Me mo die me ha oni nyina ne say emema aba but so oba no so ba e bia anka beye e je say wo hwe se dia ha no Adenta village dudu se dia mai enem ayua no asese ene nneoma bebre e bia mamu ane de no mpadwuma ne maiwa no se be Ramadan ba ye no wa ye bi ma yehu ba fie so de ye nya nanka Akosua no ba so a me ye oba nti me de ye mba de nya anka oba no so mra na oba no so mebo acha se oba ne nya mbetena so nso nneoma ojije ye nkakra na bia ye de ne tena so a ebepie ma yehu enti to me ni modi ene ye ma na ye wa ha ne de anka de pa Akosua Manu no
o say omai waye enoma bi
baby a metie ye bridge bi buye Akosua ye brother bi ba owo kolebu oyeye ye sister ba akoso eyare ye koye no operation enu say ye bre ho aye kobo Akosua Manu ama ne ye pe kotua e chese oye na mi nim say bia me MPP bia Ramadan so ben kasa Ramadan so nyono so ye bi but Akosua Manu no hospitals ne ade oboa nkrofo ene ade evie na 3 days kura ye mba ikura no wa boaboa ye nkakra isuso so ya sen nkakra no enti me mo die me die ye nya me nko apo asache chese emma ni nyina no ye pa Akosua Manu.
Sapon, you look at the main MP, the MP for the area. He's served for 4 years. Within the 4 years, would he say he has done well? Why are they?
Papa, you
Adenta no. MPs no mapa no. Ya me akasem se dem hu ade bi o maye wo. Adenta station na say babisa. Bawo ka mo si butwi na mo yesa ne ma no bae butwi onzi hu hwe ye kwan ni nyina anye na nsen ye o mbe to abaya lo mo fa machine bi bewi kwan ni de work ya emini MP club ye se Ramadan se oba no so when dem se da endim tie de hwe se oba ne ba ye oba ye cause container kwan yora na mete e hokware na nye kura ba mame oba no e de omu de anwea be feli nyina ba wayade oba ne ba no so ye
oba I think you would have a lot of praises for Ramadan, because I can see you are in the colors of the National Democratic Congress. The 4 years, and we know that it is hard for an MP to be retained in this constituency beyond 4 years. I want to know, within the last 4 years, would you say that Abu Ramadan has performed, that he deserves another 4 years for in Adenta constituency?
Yes, please. This is the first MP who buy a grader for the whole constituency. He used it, the V8 loan that they were giving to the MPs. The MP went and they used his packet, that V8 money, to buy a grader for the constituency. All the roads that they were talking about, they said that Akosua is doing roads. That one. Anybody that said that Akosua is doing roads, the person is lying. One, the road, be Minister Assembly is doing roads. The Minister Assembly, who is MP, is part of Minister Assembly. So there's no Akosua is doing road for Adenta people. The MP too is part. Even Adenta here. If you are talking about things, those support Adenta here is the NDC.
Why do you think NDC supports Adenta more than any other?
Because when you are talking about roads, light, water, school, it be NDC. MPP came for 8 years. There is nothing. There is nothing. Nothing. What be because nothing. Where MPP give it to Adenta. If you are last, we met, we asked them, they should mention only 3 things that MPP did for Adenta people. They couldn't mention. Even one, they couldn't mention.
So you have confidence that Abu Ramadan will get retained?
Yes, Abu Ramadan supposed to maintain.
He's supposed to be retained.
Yes.
Mami, me who say
1 term for Adenta. There's no 1 term for Adenta again.
Okay.
Maintaining.
So, ever some can require it. None more higher na Akosua mean no buy. And no better on TV. There be a soon way, but could be or the Shadakam. Nam who so man no a good pa. Only Passano, woman a quenya. Obey me up wow. I near my brew, I you know, in January.
Until what dream on
Akosua mean.
Yes, I was in Mufa Akosua. Yes. Yeah, mess about. But before that, man, me say, Papa no Casano, na okay can be say, and NDC for the year. O say, until Patrick say, NPP for NA, a quina, a what area.
Me Pacho, me started Eddie MPP in Adenta near any ball across. MPP na the ball a chance brain. The late ya summer ma ba kwa we free mu akwafo ono de ba roads 30 road Adenta filling station ni nyina ya summer man saki ono no ye sesi a no bridge ase wo ho nyina no Akosua menu e na saki kwa no wa maniska no wa ye de eto aso bi mensu aba Adenta nyina e ye MPP na di nso ba ye MPP saki na di nso ni ba ye Akosua menu yaneoma enti every park Adenta park aye kura no e Ramadan Mr. Ramadan sorry not Ramadan Boabia Samoa enti onfa Ramadan de awaye no na ye hu se park Adenta park aye Boabia Samoa na ye park no ye former MP enti me nimu ade a sesi me nimu ado me nka se ebi omo NDC for ne de Ramadan aye bi am fine but me mo de to me no matena krom ha for 32 years me nimu ade bi a NDC MP bi aye ama me matena ha no me ba ha na ma wo me nyina enti anu de bi nimu mom but me nka se Ramadan nye bi a waye bi but this time ne de ye pesa Akosua me nu ba bi ono ba ye ma ne de yeah man dear and with dear hands and I make a me condemn will be say we are new we are nice way be quite station ha Boabian someone and son the last 4 years Ramadan be Jerusalem this you be a minimum say Akosua menu na say Ramadan you minimum nipa me ankasa Ramadan since obetra so 4 years then me hunu twice pe obehwe ne nipa bi wa ha na me hunu but Akosua menu enne ma bibi ye o friend sesi a obeba do nya sesika a obema mi o me bra wate ase but onipa yes sa na Ramadan so betra so sa but since am wini ye no obi ehunu ni da but maami o connect o boan krofo ye bridge ye kwan ni ade nyina no it's a here to here no on to me ngusu kota akra obeye bibi se de ebe ya toma na obegusu kota amaye enti mi mo de ene me krofo nyina ade ye de ye pa Akosua menu
that all that Akwesi Aminu is doing is because of the vote she's looking for.
Yes, please.
But we can equally say same for Abu Ramadan.
Abu Ramadan even did it before we went for the primaries. He was reasoning people, if you are not feeling well and then you call, the MP will go. Up to now, he's still going around. But when they said Akwesi Aminu is going around helping people, television, because people will request from the television, it's not that the person just came and then give it to you personal. Maybe you come and ask for something, and then I'm going for contest. I can donate it to you because you asked. But you can't sit there and say because Akwesi Aminu donated something for you, so up for you, Oba. There's no way for Oba.
So it means that you support Ramadan.
Ramadan 100%. And then there's no one term for Adenta.
Okay. Pacho Sapon. In terms of Ejumayo, jobs for the youth, saying NET or Adente Moha.
Ejuma. Okay. Me baba. But system ni mo de mo ending and the mo ending ama boy se me bi mu ene mayo anu me ba hari mi ma bia se den here ejuma se den adenta de agise bia agise bia wa boy ya create wa ejuma na ase bia wo ye ba se you bia ka se ejuma bi wa ha na boys ni ko e de dabi
Auntie, you share Ejuma and so in terms of providing jobs for the youth. Me assure say baiwa and now bema bi ewo area mu ha. Ejuma ti saying nkwala na mo wa area mu ha omunye ejuma eye.
Me mo de na me ka say emema since am ba Adenta ha no ememu wa emema betran so MP assemblyman enso to me ni de wo hwe se de ememu wa no omunye ejuma say yenya Akwesi Aminu na ebi obeboa ye maiwa na no ede na mo pese mo ye Boabia Samoaba Ramadan aba Opare Hamon aba obi aba so la ye se ejuma ni ho enti ye nyina ye support oba na Akwesi Aminu no e ma na ba na wetumi ehu se de amaiwa na ebi obema won ejuma mebra na enye sa se wehu Ramadan atena so 4 years mi mo de atumi ni mi hu youth ni bi a wa ma na ejuma ana asesen eno de mi hu ye Opare Hamon betena so me hu bi enti no me ka say Akwesi Aminu ni mra this 4 years so this time we so now no so yen hwe dia ono so abevi Akwesi Aminu kokora be hu say bridge we Akwesi Aminu na ya ma me we ya record hospital Akwesi Aminu etumi ekoyi no abamu we bi an bada kolebu Holy Heart Akwesi Aminu na ya operation no ma me ni omba ya bato ye nneoma underground wa che say say ye nyina ne ye hu sa ma me ni ye bi amaye me ngojira me ehwasa Akwesi Aminu se bi o ma me 10 cedi and answer 5 cedi but the obeya ma ye youth no me ke chire university or the service me nim say ye dan ya ma me ne ba obenya na adwuma ye enti ntumi nkasa wo ti station hanom na se bia se bi wonko school and answer nyina ye nko school nya adwuma me wo be adwuma me ye say Ramadan ti so I don't care say Akwesi Aminu ba o I don't care but ye pa oba na obehwe ye mba ne ye mba ama ye nti ye nyina no ye pa Akwesi Aminu.
Okay. Adeba kwa me sa ebisa ne se o hwe Adenta ha ya muntan retaining MP oba 4 years bia na mo sesa no be eno nso so munhwe se o hwa unka se eno nso amboa mo eno ntie won kai wase mu ma Ramadan another 4 years no nye 8 na ontimi nye adie because o say first for no want me anye bibia e just maybe time no na aye de ambo anson nti mu de another 4 years kan wan maybe nko beti ma ye bibi
bra ye tumi de 1 year kra ye bibi ma e ma ne ye e just bra ye o ka say Ramadan ti so mi ni mo no de tumi memeti Adenta ha che pa Ramadan me hunu tu ayese pa bo ye nyina ye de ye MP ena me ka say me condemn obi but media me betena Adenta hansa na me be ware awo me ba me first one 27 years na ha na Adenta na yete say adwuma bebo say adwuma mbo mama ye nyina so ye nhwe oba ne se de oba no e be ye say Ramadan kra Adenta anya ha no te me nim say bia NDC for no mom ko ne fie nya adwuma ana say ya media me nim mom but Akwesi Aminu no ye bia ama ye pa enti
okay me that say gentlemen you have a lot to say in terms of you are sure that there will not be 4 years this time round that Ramadan will break the 4 years jinx and move to 8 years and continue. Looking at the dynamics, what these women are saying is that they need a woman to appeal to the woman. Has Ramadan appealed to the woman as well as part of his campaign, appealing to the woman? Has he provided why bibia actress or boa a mana or area muha? Who bibia Ramadan aye mamba because there a mamani can or pay are there betting me a boa a man so.
Yes, he gave sewing machines about 50 sewing machines for those who went and then learn sew finish and then they are now going for the masters are release them. He gave them each one take 50. Even he employ most of you military, Ghana forces, fire service, nursing training. He employs some people. All of them they are there. Even some of them they finish university. They want him, he get job for them. Now most of them they are working. So you can't say the MP is not working.
Okay. All right.
And then this what is Akosua Menu is giving Ramadan. He gave loan. No, he gave money. It's not even loan. He gave 50,000 to women. He didn't even take one cedi. That is going to take a pin to them.
They haven't got some, so I can't.
You not get because why you said you are defending your candidate.
The women.
Helping the no, why you want Akosua Menu give it to you? Akosua Menu also. Maybe what you Baba will go investing. Also, so
it is not the case of political parties.
Ramadan, yes, you say because of I don't know. Say me NDC na say I don't know who went and tell them say na so say this anti me ana mi kotu but yeah they didn't quite the papers even cry who beboa ya anti na no there.
Thank you very much. So these are the voices of the people in the Adenta constituency here in the Greater Accra region, and it is Ghana space. Like they have mentioned, they want development and nothing less. Whilst the woman on my right is arguing that they should support the NPP candidate in the person of Akosua Menu because she believes the lady or Akosua Menu will help the woman base and help give jobs to the women. My brother here is saying that they should support Ramadan to break the 4 because it is difficult for an MP to have a seat here beyond 4 years. So he's canvassing for the others to support him to break the 4. My brother here is saying that regardless of whoever comes, he wants to see development happen in the Adenta constituency. It is still Ghana space. And like I mentioned, this constituency, the Adenta constituency, is one that you must keep your eye on come December 7 because the votes here would be very intriguing. They sometimes would skirt and blast, as they call it. They vote for the NP and vote for the president.
Year budget review with some key
We are currently here at Panishin.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
2 to 1.
You're watching it. From the people of Adenta, I said that your voice matters, especially as we are getting into the December 7 polls. So anytime you get the opportunity to speak, do well to speak and speak with all of the authority that you have. Let's get straight into business fix. morning on Business Fix, we are looking at the establishment of a hospitality training school. Is it a game changer for the tourism industry? Is it a game changer for the tourism sector? And tourism is a key driver of Ghana's economy, and the hospitality industry is one that cannot be overemphasized. In 2019, international arrivals into Ghana stood at 1,130,307. In the subsequent year, it saw a sharp decline of 69% due to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, there was a remarkable rebound in the third and fourth quarters of 2021, leading to a 76% surge in total arrivals during that period. That positive trend continued with arrivals nearly doubling in 2022, marking a 47% growth. In 2023, arrivals reached 1,148,002, showing a 25% increase from the previous year and a 2% rise above the pre-COVID figures. This signaled a strong recovery. In 2019, the tourism sector in Ghana saw an average tourist expenditure of $2,931, generating some $3.3 billion in revenue for Ghana. However, the onset of pandemic in 2020 led to a substantial drop in tourist spending to an average of 62.81%, and only amounting to $1,291. Consequently, the sector's total revenue plummeted to a record low of $387 million, marking an 88% decrease in the tourism sector. In 2021, hotels and restaurants in Ghana contributed around 3.9 billion Ghana cedis, approximately $640 billion to the country's GDP. By 2022, there was a positive indicator of recovery with an increase in both average tourist expenditure to $2,743 and a sector receipt of $2.7 billion. The accommodation sector within this tourism industry reigns as the primary beneficiary of all tourism enterprises in Ghana. And in Ghana, tourist expenditure on accommodation fluctuated from 2019 to 2022, ranging between 31% to 54% and peaking in 2020. Notably, upmarket hotels such as the 3 to 5 star hotels witnessed significant strides in average occupancy over the period that we are looking at. This shows that the hospitality industry, especially the accommodation industry, sees some significant growth in the tourism industry overall. The Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, who is wanting to be President of Ghana, spoke to some creatives and persons in the tourism industry, and he said that he's looking at establishing a national hospitality training school which will train personnel to offer professional services in the tourism industry. Let's take a listen to what Dr. Bawumia said.
Good suggestions as well. As I said, I wanted to also listen and take some good advice. Lawrence started with the absence of a national gallery of arts. As we see, many jurisdictions have national galleries of art. So if Ghana doesn't have one and we want to promote the arts at the same time promote tourism, there's a good nexus between these two, and I will very much support the creation of a national gallery of arts. I very much support that. The issue of tourism clubs and in terms of the youth, Joseph Amati raised it. I'm very much also supportive of that so that we can support tourism clubs and the development of tourism. The funding, I think it was Pierre Cole who raised this issue of funding for the arts, and you're very right that if you look at the funding, some of the funding has to be grant funding, because otherwise you are not yet in a position to actually be paying back a loan when your particular craft has not yet manifested in revenues. So it doesn't make sense. So if we are going, and this is why I said that we need, significant public funding in the arts. If we are going to take it seriously, if it's going to be a growth pole, and so we need to put in funding and make sure some of it is in grant funding. Of course, when there is revenue coming.
Well, the question is, will the establishment of this hospitality industry training school be a game changer in the tourism sector, in the hospitality sector? Let's speak with Dr. Edward Akanyameke, who is the president for the Ghana Hotels Association. Good morning, sir. Thank you for speaking with us this morning.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
Dr. Nyameke, an establishment of the hospitality training school, is that what the sector needs at the moment?
Right, thanks for the opportunity. And let me put this in context. First of all, we have some hospitality training institutions or hotel training institutions currently in the country. You can talk about what the traditional universities offer, what the technical universities offer, and what some private institutions also offer. So we have those ones, they train students, whether from the secondary school levels or even those who are in the system already. Right. Now, beyond that, we also have what we've always known as HOTCAT, which is under the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. That's a hospitality and tourism training institution. The issue about the hospitality training school or the hotel training school is something that, as an association, Ghana Hotels Association, we've been pushing for over the years, and it is part of the recommendations that we gave to the two leading political parties, talking about the NDC and the NPP. And our concept of that new school, so that it does not compete with the existing institutions, is that we want that new school to focus on in-service training for staff in the industry. Let me emphasize, in-service training for staff in the industry. Okay, that will be based on what we all come to accept and agree as the standards that we expect our hotels and tourism operators to work with in the country. Once we have that, we develop it into a curriculum, and that is what we expect that hotel or hospitality training institute to offer to those who are in the system already. One of the challenges that we've had as an industry is the issue about customer service. People complain a lot about the services they receive at our hotels, from our tour operators, at our tourism sites, and so on. So that's an area that has been identified as needing training. And that will have to do with those who are in the system already. If you are not in the system, then the other training institutions, as I mentioned earlier on, will train you. But once you get into the system, then we are looking for a system that ensures that at least every 2 years, whether you are in a hotel in Zabzugu-Tatale or Winchi or Accra or Takoradi, every 2 years you get the opportunity to go to this training school, which will be a national training school for players in the industry. So at every time, the services you receive from Accra will be similar to what you receive in Takoradi, will be similar to what you receive in Kumasi, based on the acceptable standards that we all establish as an industry.
So, Dr. Akanyameke, So will you say that this proposal by the Vice President is one that you would welcome?
It is something that we pushed. It is something that we've been pushing. Okay, so I guess it's more like listening to what we have said. And I also know that the NDC is also pushing in that direction. So it's something that the industry has been pushing for. We've been talking about this for quite some time now. More so when there was an aspect of the World Bank project which was supposed to build that school. Okay, but it didn't materialize. Okay, so I want to emphasize that it's something that we pushed for, and it's something that we expect to be done. So it's in line with what we expect as an industry.
It's in line with what you expect as an industry. You've mentioned that there are already schools, existing schools that offer some sort of training in the technical universities and all. What will this hospitality training school as a whole do that the technical universities and other schools that are offering this do differently?
Yes, which is what I explained earlier on, that the existing institutions are academic institutions, of course, apart from what the TVET and other allied institutions offer. But they offer academic training, okay? And you don't need to be somebody who is in the industry already to receive that training. Okay, so you complete SHS from my alma mater, St. Augustine's College. You are interested in hospitality or hotel, you look for a university which offers that. You go there, okay, you go and receive academic training and all that. The training school that we have pushed to be established is a training school that will be there purposely for those who are in the system, the industry already. Those who are working at, say, Moving Pig, working at Airport View Hotel, working at Akroma Plaza, working at Akayet in Upper East, you know. So these are people who are in the system already, and the curriculum of that training school will be based on what the GTA, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Ghana Hotels Association, and GATOF, and all those players in the industry come to accept that when you talk about customer service, when you talk about security issues, when you talk about housekeeping, when you talk about waiting, or the job of the waiters and all that, this is the standard that we expect in the industry. And so every 2 years, every worker in that industry will have to go through that training system. And it should be compulsory, so that your licensing, which GTA does, will be based on your staff going through the process. And we believe that when we do that, you see, there's the need for a certain standard of service or quality of service that we provide as a country. We are a tourism country, I must say, even though we still have a lot to do, but we have been recognized as a tourism country, and we need to do things that will ensure that we maintain and improve upon that status. And the training for those in the industry is something that we are looking at. I don't really know what the parties have in mind in terms of establishing this school, but that's the concept that we have been pushing, and we hope that they will appreciate the concept that we have explained to them and push it in that direction. So that's the difference between this new hotel or hospitality training school that will be established and the existing one. The existing ones are for academic purposes. They will allow you to enter into the industry, but once you are in the industry, what we call in-service training, because we need a training all the time. Things change. Our industry is a very dynamic one. Changes happen all the time, and we look at, and we're also a global market. We don't provide services to only Ghanaians. We provide services to anybody from outside the country, any part of the country who comes to Ghana. Okay, so we think internationally, and then we provide the services locally here.
Dr. Akanyameke,
so we need that constant training.
That constant training.
Yep.
Dr. Akanyameke, is the sector or the industry, is it suffering in the professional services you are offering to clients at the moment?
Well, if you consider the fact that the biggest room is the room for improvement, okay, then you would appreciate that every time we need to improve our services. And like I said, this a global market industry. It's an industry that deals with international as well as local. We blend the two. Okay. Now, occasionally there are some complaints about customer services, how this person was treated at that hotel. So we have identified customer service as one area. And beyond customer service, it's also about the services in general that we provide. Okay, it's an area that needs constant improvement. So we cannot say that Ghana is at a point where we become so professional in our customer service or in our hotel service delivery that we don't need training. That will be anti-progress. Okay, we need constant training, and that constant training must be regimental if we want to be a top-class tourism nation, which we must be, because I was listening to the figures that you were mentioning, and indeed, you would appreciate that if 1.1 million visitors could generate 3.3 billion, then just multiply that figure by 2. So if we should increase the arrivals to say 2-point-something million or inch towards 3 million, you can also have an idea of the inflows that we will get. Okay. So why don't we make ourselves very competitive? Because you see, the point is that if somebody wants to organize a conference, there's always that choice of the country to choose, to pick. You can decide on any country. If we are not competitive, we will not be chosen. And when we are not chosen, then it will affect our numbers. If somebody wants to go on vacation, sitting at Azerbaijan wants to go on vacation, they go through the system, look at all the countries, and then what will make them choose Ghana? Okay, and one of the things is the customer service. And don't forget that the best way to market your hospitality industry is from the repeated visits, or from those who come to your facility, and then market the facility to others. If you give them a raw deal, they go, first of all, they won't come back. Secondly, they won't also talk about it to others. But if you give them the best of services, they are likely to come back, they are likely to market it to others. And that is where you get your numbers. We cannot say that we are at a level where we go to. Yeah.
The best way to market the hospitality industry is by repeated visits. Dr. Akka, thank you so much. As we are getting into the Christmas, we believe that we'll have more conversations on this, and hopefully the next report we'll receive, the hospitality industry will be maybe tripling the amount of money you are contributing to the GDP. Thank you for speaking with us this morning, sir.
My pleasure, and thank you also for the opportunity.
Dr. Edward Akanyameke is the president of the Ghana Hotels Association. He says that the hospitality training school the vice president and flag bearer of the NPP is talking about is literally in line with what the Hotels Association have been calling for. And for them, what they are looking forward to is a training school that gives training to people who are already in the industry, because there are already schools that are providing some of these training or teaching, most of which are academic. And he's looking at it that this school should purposely be for those working in the industry, so that the curriculum will be based on some standards as set by the Ghana Tourism Authority and all other stakeholders, so that the standards are one standard that you can see across all hotels from Accra up until the last town you can find anywhere in the country. And he's looking at the fact that this kind of training should be compulsory, so that at least if every 2 years your workers must go through the training, it will be necessary. So that is our conversation. The establishment of the hospitality training school, is it a game changer for the tourism sector? That is all for Business Week. Stay with us. We will be back.
members, it is important to point out that the Speaker is called upon by the standing orders of Parliament, particularly Order 18, to inform the House of the occurrence of a vacancy of the seat of a member under Clause 1B to E, G, and H of Article 97 of the Constitution. Accordingly, I proceed to inform the House that by the notification of the polls, the following members of Parliament have by their actions vacated their seats in Parliament. The members are Honorable Peter Yao Kwashi Aka, NDC MP for Amenfi Central in the Western Region, now referred to as an independent parliamentary candidate for the same constituency. 2. Honorable Andrew Amwako Asiama, independent member for Fomna constituency in Ashanti region, now referred to as MPP parliamentary candidate for the constituency. 3. Honorable Kojo Asante, MPP MP for Suhum in the Eastern region, now referred to as independent candidate for the same constituency. And finally, Honorable Cynthia Mamile Morrison, MPP MP for Agona West constituency in the Central region, now referred to as independent candidate for the same constituency. These MPs cannot be allowed by law and my good self to continue to pretend to be representing people that they don't believe in and they don't have any loyalty for in this House any longer. The House is accordingly so informed. Honorable members, I thank you for your patience and attention.
The NDC MPs in Parliament now constitute the majority caucus in line with the standing orders of Ghana's Parliament. Yeah. Fellow countrymen and women, the NDC now constitute the majority caucus in this 8th Parliament. We will jealously protect our new majority status and will not bow, retreat, nor surrender our lawfully earned status. Yeah. I repeat, fellow countrymen and women, the NDC now constitute the majority caucus in this 8th Parliament. We will jealously protect our newly majority status and will not bow, retreat, nor surrender our lawfully earned status. Yeah. We will also not abdicate our responsibility to the people of Ghana, no matter what. Nothing, absolutely nothing, will change this position. We are fortified.
ABC in the morning live on ABC News GH. We are heading straight into our discussion for today. Last week was a very eventful week. It was an interesting week because some things happened in Parliament and beyond Parliament that got a lot of Ghanaians talking, varying opinions on what happened, varying opinions on what is right and what is not right, and who should be able to say this or not. And all of these have culminated into the discussion and conversation we'll be having this morning. What is this conversation about? It is about the majority in Parliament, the minority in Parliament, and we are asking that we have a constitutional crisis with all of what is happening. In a significant legal development, the Supreme Court of Ghana has issued a stay of execution on Speaker of Parliament Alban Gbadwen's ruling, which declared the seats of 4 members of Parliament vacant. The affected MPs, Cynthia Morrison of the Agona West, Kwejo Asante of the Suhum constituency, Anju Amuakun Esiama of the Fomena constituency, and Peter Kwachiaka of the Amenfi Central. These are the persons who were affected by the declaration. The decision by the Supreme Court halts the implementation of the Speaker's ruling pending further legal review. The ruling by the Supreme Court sparked a political storm as it was seen as a critical moment in the ongoing contest between the majority and minority factions in Parliament. The case was heard by a panel of Supreme Court justices presided over by the Chief Justice herself, Gertrude Tokonu. The panel also included Justice Mariama Owusu, Justice Kwame Adibue-Siedu, Justice Enes Yao-Jewu, and Justice Yauda Kwasari. And together they delivered the ruling to stay the Speaker's decision. Representing the NPP MPs were lawyers Pa Kwesi Abeidu and former Attorney General Joe Garte. And in addition to granting the application, the court directed the Speaker and Attorney General to file their statement of case in the October 15 suit filed by Apenyo Markin within 7 days. And following this, they were also required to file a joint memorandum of issues within the next 7 days to facilitate the swift determination of the matter, given the gravity of the issues raised in the suit. The Speaker's declaration on Thursday, October 17, followed a motion filed by former minority leader Haruna Idrisu, who invoked the constitutional provisions under Article 97, requiring MPs who switch political affiliations or contest elections as independent candidates to vacate their seats. Specifically, Speaker Gbadwen cited Article 97, Clause 1, Subclause G of the 1992 Constitution, which states that an MP seat becomes vacant if they cease to be a member of the party on whose ticket they were elected. We'll come back more on this, but we have joining us Dr. Frederick Ojo. He is a governance expert. Doc, thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Yes. Doc, we'll be having this conversation with you soon, but just to abreast our viewers of all that has happened. Speaker declared seats vacant. The Supreme Court have stayed the ruling of Speaker. Let's take a look at some of the things that have happened over the week. So these are some of the reactions from the ruling stay, the stay of execution ruling by the Supreme Court. This is from Kesel Atuforsen, the minority leader. He says that the NDC MPs in Parliament now constitute the majority caucus in the 8th Parliament, and they will jealously guard and protect their new status and will not bow, retreat, or surrender. He says that the NDC will not be bowing, they will not retreat, neither will they surrender, as they have found their new status as the majority in Parliament. That is Kesel Atuforsen. The MP for Ningo Pram, Sam George, says that, take this recording to the Chief Justice that and he says, Sam George says, I am now the Vice Chairman of the Select Committee on Communication because I am part of the majority. Tell the judiciary that enough of the politics in our judiciary. The Supreme Court is a judicial wing, not an extension of the NPP headquarters. And this is from Slam George. The MP for Boko Central, Mahama Yariga, also says that what we know is that under Articles 2 and 130 of the Constitution, the Supreme Court has jurisdiction to make a declaration as to whether or not an act is consistent or inconsistent with the provision. But to suspend a decision or directive of the Speaker in Parliament, we are not aware of the legal basis or the conduct like that. This is the MP for Boko Central, Mahama Ayarega. And this is from the flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He says that 2 days ago they said, and he means NDC MPs, were the majority. Anyway, they were the majority for only 24 hours. The shortest living majority that I know of in history. And this is Bawumia jabbing the NDC in Parliament. And Gabi Otridaku, a prominent member of the NPP, says Parliament must by all means avoid a situation of seeming chaos and anarchy on Tuesday. I suggest the two leaders and Speaker meet before then to agree to disagree on the next steps. Not long to December 7. Let maturity be our guide and guard. And MP for Adansia Sokwa and the Trade Minister, Honorable Katie Hammond, says, I can't imagine the Speaker, who is the number 3 of the land, deciding to do anything otherwise. The Constitution is in contempt of court, and he is a lawyer who understands these things. So I expect that on Tuesday, when we go back to Parliament on October 22, we, the majority, will be comfortably seated on our part of the aisle, and the minority, who are perpetual opposition, will be seated at their rightful place. This is Kwame Ekufu, who is a private legal practitioner. Kwame Ekufu says a party cannot seek an application for stay of execution in respect of a matter which is not a judgment or a court order. The Speaker's order is not of such. It is absurd to seek a stay of execution in a case in which the court has not made any orders. Well, so these are some of the notable reactions from persons about the ruling by the judges. Let's take a look at what the judges said. Well, so these are the judges who gave the stay of execution of Speaker's ruling. A 5-member panel made up of the Chief Justice Gertrude Saki Tokonu, and she was nominated and sworn into the Supreme Court in 2019. Justice Mariama Owusu was also on the panel. She was nominated and also sworn into the Supreme Court in 2019. Justice Kwame Adibu Esiedu was also on the panel, and he was nominated and sworn into the Supreme Court in 2022. We have Justice Ernest Jewu, nominated in 2022 and sworn into the Supreme Court in 2023. And finally, Justice Yao Asare Dakun, nominated and sworn into the Supreme Court in 2023. And they are the judges who gave the stay of execution on the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Gbadwen's ruling. Dr. Frederick Ojo is a governor's expert. Doc, thank you for staying with us.
Good morning, again.
Doc, what are your initial thoughts on all of these developments following Speaker's declaration of those 4 seats vacant?
Okay. My initial thoughts are that Ghana is a country of rule of law. We have accepted for ourselves certain key principles for the governance of this country. Our Constitution states clearly in Article 1.1 that the supreme power of this country is held by the people of Ghana. We agreed for ourselves that we will have what we call separation of powers, which is, enshrined in various chapters of the Constitution. We have agreed to have independent judiciary according to Article 121 of the Constitution. Yes, there are various arrangements in our Constitution that govern us. And there are key principles of law that we are all bound to respect. Some of them include the key tenets of the rule of law, which has got key tenets, which talks about the supremacy of the law. It talks about equality before the law. It talks about respect for fundamental human rights. It talks about predictability of the law and the certainty of the law. Can we, in all fairness, say that this whole drama that is unfolding before us has met all these key principles, including the principles of natural justice? Talking about the right to be told about the proceedings that are being held against you, the right to appear before a neutral judge, the right to explain your side of the case before a decision is made. These are all principles of natural justice. And I've been asking myself whether in all these we've allowed these key principles of the law to operate. So that will be my initial comment.
In all these, we allow the key principles of the law to operate. The Speaker declared these seats vacant. Dr. Joe, some persons raise concerns that the NDC shouldn't have followed through with what they were seeking, as we have just a few days to the elections, and that it didn't bode well for the governance of the country when they sought to shift the dynamics of Parliament just when this Parliament would be ending pretty soon, right after, especially when we're going to vote in the elections. Do you agree with them?
Well, the point is that we are in an electoral period. We're going for presidential parliamentary election. So every party will seek to use whatever they believe will help them win the election. So if the NDC thought taking this course of action was going to help their cause to win the next election, they will be willing to do it. But my concern is how much is it going to help us as a country? That is all there is. And I was listening to some of the comments being made, and I'm very much amazed. I thought Mr. Atuforsen was in court. He went to the appeals court and got a ruling which was in his favor, for which reason a criminal case against him has been vacated. Today he is saying the NPP went to the Supreme Court and they know they can get a judgment there. And I find it interesting that you also decided that, okay, this person was appointed by this person at this point. This person was appointed but then I would have wished that you tell us when each one of them was also appointed into various positions. I would want us to accept to be people of rule of law or not. We can't have our cake and we can't eat our cake and still have it.
We can't eat our cake
I think we are choosing when it pleases us. When it goes for us, we think the system is good. When it doesn't work for us, we will criticize the system. Atuforsen went to court. One court he felt was not dealing with him well. He went to a superior court. The superior court ruled in his favor. He is now a free person. He came out hailing the court system. Why is it that today he sought to become a majority leader? The court has vacated the ruling of the speaker. But he thinks because the court did not support their action, the court suddenly becomes bad. But this same court system freed him from probable, imprisonment. But that court system is bad. I don't think we are being fair to ourselves as a people.
Okay, you don't think?
I think we, as a people, there are more important and critical things we need to be concerned with. Okay. If the NDC becomes the majority today, what will be the use of that to Ghana as a country? I think the benefit, if there are any, is going to be inured only to the NDC as a group. I don't see the benefit it will be for the country as a whole. What we're choosing, I think, we have measured in the minors and minored in the majors. That is how I see this whole thing.
Okay, Dr. Frederick Odro. We have joining us Kwame Adofo, who is a constitutional lawyer, and Clement Akolo, who is a communications officer at the Parliamentary Network Africa. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
Well,
Thank you.
Let me come to you, Lawyer Kwame Adofo. You have been very consistent with your opinions on all of this issues surrounding the declaration of the vacant seat. You wanted the Supreme Court to hear the case and interpret Article 97. Now the court has ordered a stay of execution. Is this the right step by the apex court of the land?
Absolutely. And the reasons are clear. The first point is that, as I indicated previously, that when do we say a person has left but seeks to remain in Parliament? Which Parliament are we talking about? Are we talking about this present Parliament or the future Parliament? This is the position that I was making. The second point is that under Article 99, it's the High Court that has jurisdiction to declare a seat vacant. Now, Speaker Michael Quay declared a seat vacant. And this has consistently been followed by Speaker Babin. The question is, are they now a High Court or they are not? And I think this is so important for the Supreme Court to tell us whether a speaker standing in the shoes of a High Court can declare a seat vacant. That is so critical. And I think it's important that the speaker, the Supreme Court settles this once and for all. So that in the future, if somebody is contemplating doing the same thing, they will know the way that the Supreme Court will hold.
Therefore, Mahama Yariga, the MP for Boko Central, says that the decision by the apex court to stay the decision by the speaker is not what they know, that they are not allowed in their capacity to do that. Is that so?
Well, no. Then they have to go back to Supreme Court and argue that position. You cannot stay outside and make a commentary without going to court. You have to go back and say, Supreme Court, respectfully, we disagree with your ruling. We are of the view that you probably did not look at A, B, C, D, and therefore you should reconsider and review that position because we believe that it's not correct. That's what they should. But for you to be standing outside and telling us that they got it wrong, to what end? You know, the law has been interpreted in a certain way. We haven't even reached there yet. All what the Supreme Court has done is to suspend the orders of the Speaker. That's all. The Supreme Court hasn't actually overruled the Speaker yet. They haven't done that. They haven't reached there yet.
Lawyer Adofo, they have also said that people and members of the public, some legal minds like yourself, have said that this ruling by the Supreme Court is actually an interference in the work of Parliament, and that there's a reason why there is separation of powers. The Supreme Court shouldn't be bold enough to enter into the affairs of Parliament.
But they haven't. They haven't entered the affairs of Parliament. The parliamentarians themselves took it to the Supreme Court. In our colloquial way, they were sitting there somewhere, minding their own business, and you people took it there. So the Supreme Court did not develop what is it called? That animal with the long tentacles. They said, let me come and interfere with you. No, they did not do that. They were sitting in their office or in their chambers, in their courts, and one of you politicians, you yourself, took it there. So they invited the Supreme Court to come in. Now, the Supreme Court hasn't even done anything yet. All the Supreme Court has done is say, hold on a minute. Please exercise patience. The consequence or the consequential orders you've made, that they should not even be allowed in the house anymore. And if you listen or you read the reasons for the decision made by the Speaker, it says those members no longer have interests in their constituents, and nor do they have any loyalty to their constituents, the basis upon which he reached that decision. Now, how is that justifiable? How is that a reasonable reason? In a sense that these people were seeking to recontest in the same constituency. So how can they say they don't have any interest? How can they say they are no longer loyal to them? Well, it makes no sense.
Well, let's stand on that. We'll come back to that. Let me
point this.
Okay.
Let me point this out. There are other people who clearly no longer have interest. They are in one constituency, and in the next step, they are going to contest in a different constituency. So it is more so applicable to those people than these people who are coming back to the same constituency. I don't know if you understand my point. My point is, there are some people who are saying they are not going to contest in that constituency, but they are rather going to another constituency. So if that reasons is anything to go by, it should.
Africa. What do you expect will play tomorrow in Parliament? Gabi Ochedaku has said that he would advise that majority and minority leaders meet with Speaker so that they can either agree on something or agree to disagree, so that Parliament is not thrown into a state of anarchy. You have seen some judge say that, as for him, he's now assuming a certain position in party by virtue of the fact that the NDC is now majority. Ato Forson, who minority leader now minority, depending on where you stand on the political divide, also says that they are going to jealously guard their majority status and will not succumb to any decision from anyone outside of Parliament. Clement, how do you envision that things will play out tomorrow in Parliament?
Thank you very much. I must say that we at Parliamentary Network Africa are very worried about the kind of things we are hearing on air from both sides and legal minds as well. And it doesn't bode well for our political system, our parliamentary system. And we fear that what happened to this parliament at the beginning of the 8th parliament might end up happening again, where we had all kinds of altercations and near fisticuffs on the floor of Parliament, even with the invitation of security persons, that is the military, into the House and all that. And that's not what we want to see in our democracy, especially our parliamentary democracy. So we fear that these things may repeat themselves, especially so when the first one happened on the 7th of January 2021. We have not actually found any antidote to those things that happened on the floor of Parliament. We have not found those who were culpable for anything that happened on the floor of Parliament. No report has been issued about those who actually caused those things, and any part.
Hello, Clement. Hello.
Meted out to them. So we are afraid that these things may repeat themselves, get worse.
Well,
hello.
Yes, Clement. We lost you for a moment, but I think we have established contact and we heard you. You fear that things may get worse, and if we do not take care, we'll be ending Parliament the
so
way
I just
this
concluded
Parliament
that
started.
we what began this.
Okay, let me come to you, Dr. Frederick Ojo. Hello, sir, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Dr. Frederick Ojo, isn't it worrying that Supreme Court was able to sit so quickly to be able to rule on this matter, seeing that they also have other cases in front of them that they should be paying attention to? These are some of the concerns Ghanaians have raised. Ghanaians have said that the Supreme Court not have other issues of more importance or of equal importance to the issue they sat on.
You see, let us educate the public. What has the Supreme Court ruled over? They made a ruling on an injunction application. They have not dealt with the substantive matter, which is about the interpretation of the article in question. I mean, some people believe their rights have been trampled. And I believe so, because I am saying that every ruling, whoever is involved must be given the right to explain their side. They must be told the procedure to be followed. These are tenets of the principles of natural justice. I believe those people were not given any fair hearing. They were not even before a neutral judge. They've sat there, somebody has moved a motion, some people have made comments, and a decision has been made that you can no longer represent your people. The matter has been sent to the court prior to this for the court to make an interpretation. Why was this indecent haste to make a ruling that, yes, I've removed you? Then we are all forgetting that under our constitutional arrangement of the principles of separation of powers, when it comes to the interpretation of the Constitution, it is the Supreme Court. It is not any politician. It is not even any lawyer. I love it when lawyers advise me or give me an education. But at the end of the day, it's not what the lawyer says that will prevail. It is what the court says. We have fashioned for ourselves a constitution which says whenever there is a need to interpret the Constitution, we don't go to the court. And this is a constitutional matter. And even as we speak, the court has not made a determination of that matter. The court says, look, there are procedures for removing somebody. Even before we make an interpretation of the Constitution, you give the people who have come before you all that they need. I mean, you don't trample on their fundamental human rights. You give them a fair hearing. You don't trample over their natural justice. All these things are there. So the court says, stop the process. You've made a ruling. We will come to that. Because you have invited us, as the good lawyer just told us, that the court were somewhere. It is not the court that rushed into it. So in this case, it is an injunction that the court has granted.
Well, Dr. Joe,
please, let's not tell anybody that the court has made a ruling on the substantive issue. They haven't.
Dr. Joe, what Ghanaians are saying is that the NPP sends a case to court, and the swift nature with which the court sat to look at the case is something that you don't normally see. Saying that
Akufosin also sent a case to court, and the court freed him. Was that court wrong in freeing Akufosin? You see, these are things that we must stop. If we begin to say MPP did this, NDC did that, there have been cases that the NDC has won in court. There have been cases that the MPP have won in court. Why are we, just because there is this matter, suddenly it's an MPP court? It's not fair. And we are destroying our national institutions. And at the end of the day, if there are matters, where are we supposed to take it? Do we take it to an NDC court or an MPP court? I don't want to dwell on those trivialities. I want to go through the real issues. People who are ignorant can say whatever they want, and I'm not bothered. I think that have these people been given a fair hearing, those who were removed? There is a lawyer on our panel. Let the lawyer explain to us. And I am of that view, that they were not given a hearing. In fact, I wouldn't even call it a fair hearing. They were not given a hearing. They were not invited to speak on their own behalf. They were not even allowed to bring their counsel to speak for them. They were not even told that the procedure is being held against them, and this is how it was going to take place. These are all tenets of the rule of law. There's a lawyer. Lawyer Adolfo is on the panel. Let, at least on this same panel, let the lawyer Adolfo tell us all that what I'm saying is not true. I am not a lawyer. But I know, and this is what we should know. If we are going to engage in any national discourse, we should arm ourselves with the truth, not opinions of individuals. I mean, if you I've heard an NDC MP say, oh, we knew that the person had gone to file as an independent candidate. We knew that the person is an MPP. He's going to file as an independent candidate. So there is no need to even hear the person. Even if we catch somebody killing another person, and we catch, the police comes in and catch the person will not be executed straight away. The person will be given a fair hearing before a neutral judge. That is how our legal system works. Our legal system does not work based on somebody's emotion. There are clear guidelines for how our system should work. So if some people think that the Supreme Court has come in, I mean, how many days do we have? How many days have it got left that you don't see it, you don't deem it fit that you give these people the fair hearing? And when you also know that a matter is before the Supreme Court, you also do not consider that. I am saying that when it comes to matters of the interpretation of the law, it is only the Supreme Court that has got the power. No political party has that power. No speaker has that power. Okay, so when it comes to interpretation of the Constitution, it is the sole preserve of the Supreme Court. And I wish somebody would come and tell me to the contrary that this is not what our law says.
Lawyer Adolfo, there have been some concerns that the court missed some procedural steps in the stay of the execution, especially in how it heard the case ex parte delivered its ruling on the same day. And because of this, they have also said that it means that the court is not being too direct as in how it should go. Do you think that these persons' concerns are valid? Have they raised any valid concerns about the swift nature with which the Supreme Court sat on this case?
Oh, okay. I understand it now. So their concern is that the Supreme Court somehow has given this one an extra priority compared to the others. I think that's all they are saying. So They just don't like the fact that it's been swiftly attended to. I think that's the whole point. Look, I don't understand why somebody would want their case to take so long before a court hears it. Well, I don't understand it.
For many argue that the Supreme Court has other relevant cases they should be paying attention to and shouldn't rush, and if that is the right word, rush in hearing this case that the Afenyo Marking and the NPP brought before them.
Well, you see, you've gone to Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has suspended a ruling, the consequence of a ruling of a speaker. Are you saying the Supreme Court shouldn't rush it? They should actually rush it and see whether what the speaker did was correct or wrong. Because if they were to go and suspend it and go to sleep, that would be a very serious intervention of parliamentary work. But In this case, they have actually said, look, we have not overruled the Speaker. His ruling still stands. But the consequential orders made by the Speaker is what is suspended. That is, let's see if the Speaker, what he did was right. And are you saying this matter is not a matter of urgency, and therefore we should all be in limbo because the other matters pending, they should go and treat those matters before they come to this? Is that what they are saying? Seriously, I don't think that's what they mean. Maybe they are saying it, but they don't really mean it, because Parliament needs to be constituted ASAP. Tuesday, they are going to sit. And are you saying the Supreme Court should not have interfered? So what if it turned out that the Speaker didn't have the powers to vacate those seats of 4 constituencies, and it turns out that what he did was wrong? Are we saying that that should have been allowed because it will amount to interference? Is that what we are saying? I don't think so. I think what the Supreme Court has done, it hasn't overruled the Speaker in any way. They just said the consequential orders, that they are no longer allowed to represent their constituents. That bit has to be stayed. It's like a pause. It's like suspended. It hasn't actually made a determination yet. But its effects is what has been suspended. Now, that is something. Imagine, let me give you another scenario. Imagine you wake up one morning and there's a grader.
Your call has been put on hold. Please wait.
Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah. Just imagine one day you wake up in the morning. I'm just giving a scenario. And there's a grader in front of your house saying, go and remove your things. I'm going to demolish your house. Just imagine how you feel. So the only thing you can do is quickly go to court, seek a stay of execution of those orders, whatever those orders are, pending you and the court having a second look whether it is correct. It may even be that the grader is standing in the wrong house. Instead of going to the next house, they came to your building to demolish your building. Would you not want the court to stay that decision and find out whether it's actually the house and whether there was an order for it to be demolished? That's exactly what is happening. Or what the court has done is say, stay your hand. Instead of kicking them out of the house, let's have a look whether the Speaker had the right to declare a seat vacant, which in my position, they don't. Neither Speaker Okwe nor Speaker Babin has that power, because the Constitution itself, or by virtue of Article 90, says the High Court. Now, they are saying that they are now entitled to stand in the shoes in Parliament of the High Court and declare some seats vacant. What happens if people who are thinking like me wins in the end? And by the time we come back, you've already declared those seats vacant. You've gone and voted in the next election. You think you've treated us fairly? And as my brother there was saying, did you even give them a hearing? Did you give them an opportunity to give you a reason why they should not be vacated or be thrown out of the house? You can see there are so many things that are wrong with the ruling of the declaration by the Speaker that some seats have become automatically vacant. I think they were just completely arbitrary and capricious, so to speak. And therefore, it's a cause for the Supreme Court to come in. I am absolutely convinced in my mind that the decision by the Supreme Court is correct, and that if they disagree with it, they should go back to the Supreme Court, raise those arguments that they are making outside, and let's hear, maybe the Supreme Court may have a change of mind. That is the way we play the game. We don't play the game outside and throwing stones at the Supreme Court. We don't do that. And I think they should stop.
Well, Adolfo, I'll be coming back to you because we have some other issues that we need to understand as per the ruling as per what the court have said, and also per what the minority have said following the court's declaration too. But Clement, let me come to you. What should both sides of the House do at this moment to avert the fears of the Ghanaian? Both sides have said different things. This side says that we'll be sitting here on Tuesday. This side also says we'll be sitting here. This side says that we don't agree to what the court is saying, to the point of hinting, the minority hinting of some military deployments. You mentioned the military deployment in your first submission. Remember, when this parliament was beginning, military stormed minority. Up until now, we do not know who deployed the minority to when. Most Ghanaians, a section of Ghanaians, vehemently criticized it because it was wrong for the military to interfere in parliament. This time, minority themselves are now hinting at military deployments into parliament. What should we be doing as we are looking at tomorrow? A lot of people believe tomorrow is going to be a very heated day, and if we do not take care, things may escalate far more than we have even expected, Clement.
Yeah, thank you very much. As I was alluding to earlier on, I mentioned the military aspect of it because of what happened at the beginning. And we at Parliamentary Network Africa have petitioned Parliament on a number of occasions to kind of give us their report on what happened but we have heard nothing. We have petitioned them right from 2021 till 2024, and we haven't heard anything from it. Those people who did the deployment and whatever happened in Parliament, nobody has been punished, no report has come out, and we think that some of these things will come back to haunt us when we have a repeat of it. So what we want to say about this is that both sides of the house must be circumspect, and all of us as parliamentary watchers and democracy watchers should ensure that we have a peaceful country to live in. Actually, Parliament is the fulcrum around which democracy revolves. So if there's no Parliament, we won't be sitting here enjoying the dividends of democracy. So we have to ensure that the right thing is done. When I was listening to the two gentlemen who are with me and some arguments that have been made out there, it appears that Parliament is non-consequential in all this, that Parliament has no right to govern itself. And that's the sense I get. And it appears that Parliament does not have control over what is within its own purview. So Parliament itself doesn't have any protection, any independence for itself. I think that we must watch these things very carefully. I'm not a lawyer, but I think that Parliament has been, over the years, treated as though they are not important in the arena of political decision. And every time there's a decision to be taken by Parliament, there should be an overreach from somewhere else to actually guide Parliament on what it has to do. I think that Article 97, 1, G and H speak to a particular situation. And I heard that they said Parliament or the Speaker doesn't have the authority to declare any seat vacant and all that. But when you go to the act that says that Parliament, it also gives Parliament the power to be able to set out its own rules and govern itself. And when you look at Order 18 of the Parliamentary Standing Orders, it talks about the Speaker declaring seats vacant when the need arises. It is important for us to also indicate that, yes, matters of interpretation of the Constitution lies with the Supreme Court, but it doesn't mean that it has to stop Parliament from functioning whilst it is doing its interpretation. So I think that some of these things we must look at it very well and not make Parliament a rubber stamp or parliament just an institution for an institution's sake. I think that the constitution actually gave parliament the independence of itself. How about suing the speaker of parliament and all that? What does the constitution say about how to serve the speaker and members of parliament? How does the constitution protect parliament itself? Otherwise, every now and then, every decision that will be taken in parliament will be stopped by one litigation or the other. I think that when we are doing the interpretation of this, we should look at all the things that surround it. I don't think that the other time the speaker tried to interpret the constitution. He tried to do what was within his purview to guide the House as to how membership is according to the constitution and is part of the declaration as per order 18 of the standing orders of parliament. So I think that we should all ensure that the right thing is done so that we would be at the right place. For the members of parliament, both sides should know that without the House being in good shape, they don't have minority, they don't have majority. Nobody will sit in parliament if there is chaos in parliament. Nobody will have parliament to even say that I am majority or minority. So whilst they are dealing with their issues, they should be careful and be thinking about what the consequences may be.
They should be careful and think about what the consequences will be. Nobody will sit in parliament if there is chaos in parliament. Lawyer Adolfo, if the NDC decide that they are not going to listen to what the court is saying, okay, we'll come back to Lawyer Adolfo very soon, but well, we would do well to establish contact with both of our speakers, so that of our guests, so that we can fully grasp with all of the understanding from the case. But we've understood certain things today. Hello, Dr. Lawyer Adolfo. Lawyer Kwame Adolfo.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can
well,
you hear me?
The minority says that they are not bound by the ruling of the Supreme Court.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Right. The minority said that they are not bound by the ruling of the Supreme Court. Will they be acting, or will they be in contempt of court if tomorrow in Parliament they decide to occupy the majority side of Parliament? Okay, so we will establish contact. We want to understand if their minority will be in contempt of court if they decide to sit on the majority side. They have said that at the moment they are the majority side of Parliament and will be conducting themselves as such. They have further said that they will not be bulldozed into doing the bidding of anybody. At the moment, they, the NDC, are the majority side of Parliament. The Supreme Court have halted the decision of the Speaker of Parliament in declaring some 4 seats vacant. But Clement Akolo says that in all of these conversations that we are having, both sides of Parliament should understand that nobody will sit in Parliament. There will be no Parliament if there's discord, if we do not see the head and tail of Parliament. At the end of the day, you need some understanding. You need the Parliament to be a peaceful one so that business can move on as usual. We are having all of these and that. Yesterday, the NDC had a press conference. The NDC caucus in Parliament had a press conference where they said a lot. Let us listen to NDC.
MPs in Parliament now constitute the majority caucus in line with the standing orders of Ghana's Parliament. Yeah. Fellow countrymen and women, the NDC now constitute the majority caucus in this 8th Parliament. We will jealously protect our new majority status and will not bow, retreat, nor surrender our lawfully earned status. I repeat, fellow countrymen and women, the NDC now constitute the majority caucus in this 8th parliament. We will jealously protect our newly majority status and will not bow, retreat, nor surrender our lawfully earned status. We will also not abdicate our responsibility to the people of Ghana, no matter what. Nothing, absolutely nothing, will change this position. We are fortified that the proceedings of Parliament shall not be impeached or questioned in any court or placed out of Parliament. Any interference with the business of Parliament is unlawful, unacceptable, and shall be resisted. We have never hidden our position that we are in Parliament for the ordinary people of Ghana. It is indeed true that we will use our new majority numbers to benefit Ghanaians by introducing private members' bill to remove the e-levy and to reduce the suffering of the people of Ghana. It is also true that we will use our new majority to remove the betting tax and other nuisance taxes. Already, this NPP government has made Ghana a high tax regime, and that it is affecting the survival of fellow countrymen and women. The NDC now constitute the majority caucus in this 8th parliament. We will jealously protect our newly majority status and will not bow, retreat, nor surrender our lawfully earned status. We will also not abdicate our responsibility to the people of Ghana, no matter what. Nothing, absolutely nothing, will change this position. We are fortified that the proceedings of Parliament shall not be impeached or questioned in any court or placed out of Parliament. Any interference with the business of Parliament is unlawful, unacceptable, and shall be resisted. We have never hidden our position that we are in Parliament for the ordinary people of Ghana. It is indeed true that we will use our new majority numbers to benefit Ghanaians by introducing private members' bill to remove the e-levy and to reduce the suffering of the people of Ghana. It is also true that we will use our new majority to remove the betting tax and other nuisance taxes. Already, this NPP government has made Ghana a high tax regime, and that it is affecting the survival of businesses and the people of Ghana. Fellow countrymen and women, the NDC now constitute the majority caucus in this 8th parliament. We will jealously protect our newly majority status and will not bow, retreat, nor surrender our lawfully earned status. We will also not abdicate our responsibility to the people of Ghana, no matter what. Nothing, absolutely nothing, will change this position. We are fortified that the proceedings of Parliament shall not be impeached or questioned in any court or placed out of Parliament. Any interference with the business of Parliament is unlawful, unacceptable, and shall be resisted. We have never hidden our position that we are in Parliament for the ordinary people of Ghana. It is indeed true that we will use our new majority numbers to benefit Ghanaians by introducing private members' bill to remove the e-levy and to reduce the suffering of the people of Ghana. It is also true that we will use our new majority to remove the betting tax and other nuisance taxes. Already, this NPP government has made Ghana a high tax regime, and that it is affecting the survival.
So the leader of the NDC in Parliament, Kesola Toforce, and he says any interference in Parliament would not be allowed. They will stand against it. And he says that their new majority status is a status that they are going to rely on and use to introduce a private members' bill to repeal or to abolish the e-levy, the betting tax. They say that all of these are taxes that are overburdening Ghanaians. But ultimately, they want Ghanaians to understand that this new majority status they have attained is a status that they tend or they are looking forward to guarding jealously. This status won't be taken away from them. Tomorrow, Parliament will reconvene, and we are looking forward to understanding what will happen tomorrow. We are hoping that Parliament won't be thrown into a state of chaos or anarchy, and that cool heads would prevail, and we can better understand everything that is happening. The conversation doesn't end today, and neither does it end here. We'll have more conversations on this so that we can adequately understand the provision in the Constitution around all of these declaration of vacant seats. In any case, because of this issue, we have dealt more and more into this provision, Article 97, better understanding it so that we all will be clarified in our minds. People have said that although there may be a precedent, it doesn't always mean that you should follow that precedent that has already been set. And above all, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and we all must abide by it. We're looking forward to more conversations on this. At the moment, the Supreme Court has stayed what the Speaker of Parliament declared. He declared 4 seats vacant. However, Supreme Court says that let's pause. Let's pause on this. There will be more to come after it. And ABC News GH, be rest assured that ABC News GH will bring you more and more of the developments following this case, especially tomorrow, where I know all Ghanaians are looking forward to seeing what will transpire in court tomorrow on the back of all that has been happening. But for those of us who don't know about this, a brief recap is that the former minority leader, Haruna Iddrisu, invoked Article 97 of the Constitution, which stated that an MP would vacate his seat based on various factors. He stood on the subclause G and subclause H, where if an MP switched sides, would be required to vacate his seat. The NPP, through its leader in Parliament, Afenyo Markin, went to court, submitted a petition to court seeking to halt any decision the Speaker would take. Beyond that, the Speaker went ahead to declare those seats vacant. Cynthia Morrison of Agona West, Andrew Esiama of Fomena, Kwejo of Suhum, and then Peter Kwachiaka of Amenfi Central. These were the 4 seats that have been declared vacant. Following that, the Supreme Court has halted that decision by the Speaker of Parliament. That has generated a lot of buzz and a lot of conversation. Tomorrow, Parliament will sit and we'll see what will follow from there. This is all for the discussion. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia #1 on the ballot.
Mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Panishin.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m., and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
2 to 1.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Back and you're still watching ABC in the morning. Let's get straight into politics today. On politics today, we are looking at the lawsuits ahead of the 2024 general elections. And as Ghanaians prepare to go to the polls on December 7, there have been some litigations by key players who seem not to, and then these litigations do not seem to end anytime soon. The lawsuits are mainly directed at the Electoral Commission for the disqualification of some presidential and parliamentary candidates. The disqualification of some of these candidates by the EC. Bernard Mona and the PNC have sued the EC and the chairperson of the EC. So you see this, Bernard Mona versus the EC and the returning officer for the 2024 public presidential elections. Another lawsuit that is also there is Samuel Appiah Dankwa versus the EC. We have the NDC and Joanna Jan Kujo of the Memphis Central constituency versus the EC. So let's look at Bernard Mona and the PNC versus the EC and the EC chairperson. On September 20, 2024, the Electoral Commission cleared 13 aspirants to contest the 2024 presidential elections. They disqualified 11 out of the 24 who had filed nominations. Notable among the 11 aspirants who had been disqualified were Bernard Mona, Jeanette Nabla, an independent aspirant, and Kofi Asamoah of the Progressive People's Party. And these aspirants who had been disqualified on the basis of incomplete particulars of supporters for their nomination. For Bernard Mona, the EC also said that he had also used registered voters in a particular district to support his nomination in another district. The EC said that his form also contained varying signatures of some supporters, and in some cases the same signatures for different supporters, and that is why, on this basis, is why the EC decided to disqualify him. These are some of the reasons why he had been disqualified. Let's look at Samuel Appiah Dankwa, who also sued the EC. On September 20, 2024, the EC also disqualified Samuel Appiah Dankwa and 10 others. And beyond all of that, Samuel Appiah Dankwa was not happy. He sued the EC. But before we come to Samuel Appiah Dankwa, let's take some more on Bernard Mona. After Bernard Mona had been told that his form contained varying signatures of some supporters, and in some cases some signatures for different supporters on his form, Bernard Mona sued the EC. And in suing the EC, these are some of the major reliefs he is looking for. In his application filed at the Accra High Court on Thursday, September 24, Bernard Mona is seeking, among other reliefs, An order restraining the EC from embarking on any activity relating to the presidential elections until he, Bernard Mona, is declared as a duly nominated candidate and allowed to contest the 2024 elections. He is also seeking an order of certiorari quashing the EC's decision to disqualify him from contesting as a presidential candidate in the upcoming 2024 presidential election. Bernard Mona again is seeking an order of mandamus compelling the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, to declare him, Bernard Mona, as duly nominated to contest the elections. He's also seeking a declaration from the courts that the Electoral Commission, as an administrative body, acted arbitrarily, unfairly, and capriciously in disqualifying, and therefore the EC breached Article 23 of the 1992 Constitution, and also breached his fundamental human rights as protected by the Constitution. These are some of the reliefs that Bernard Mona of the PNT is seeking by suing the EC and the chairperson of the Electoral Commission at the Accra High Court. Let's take a look at Samuel Appiah Dankwa, who is also suing the EC. On September 20, Samuel Appiah Dankwa was disqualified by the EC from contesting in the 2024 elections. According to the Electoral Commission, it noted several errors in the forms of candidates and details of the supporters, and provided Samuel Appiah Dankwa the opportunity to rectify, but Samuel Appiah Dankwa failed. As a result, Appiah Dankwa has filed an interlocutory injunction against the Electoral Commission regarding the matter. In his suit, Appiah Dankwa has requested that the Accra High Court restrain the Electoral Commission from proceeding with any activities related to the 2024 presidential elections. His application was filed on Wednesday, October 16, and court is set to be moved on October 28, 2024. These are some of the reliefs Appiah Dankwa is seeking. He says that there should be a court order of certiorari to overturn the Electoral Commission's ruling, a mandamus order to compel the Electoral Commission to reinstate him, Samuel Appiah Dankwa, as a valid candidate for the 2024 general elections, and an order of prohibition restraining the Electoral Commission from taking further steps in the 2024 presidential elections, including the printing of ballots and the conduct of elections, an order for general and special damages. So these are the relief Samuel Appiah Dankwa is seeking. Another case in court is the NDC and Joanna Jan Kujo versus the EC. What is the NDC and Joanna Jan Kujo suing the EC for? Electoral Commission, in a letter dated October 10 and signed by Samuel Tete, the deputy chairman in charge of operations, informed Joanna Jan Kujo about her disqualification based on a pending court case. The Electoral Commission explained that it was bound by the court order, which was neither stayed nor vacated. A native of Amenfi Central called Jedu Frimpong petitioned Electoral Commission to reject the nomination forms of Joanna Jan Kujo. According to Jedu Frimpong, there was an injunction restraining the EC from accepting Joanna Jan Kujo's nomination by the High Court in 2nd D, and as a result, the NDC has filed an injunction application seeking to halt the Electoral Commission from proceeding with the printing of parliamentary ballot papers and notice of poll for the Amenfi Central constituency. Amenfi Central, the seat is one of the seats the Speaker declared vacant. Peter Kwachiaka is the MP there at the moment. However, Joanna Jan beat him in the primaries, and therefore Joanna Jan is the one supposed to represent the NDC in the elections. However, because of a case in court, the EC have had to disqualify her. Because of that, the NDC have sued the EC. And at a press conference in Accra on October 17, NDC General Secretary Fifi Avikwete slammed the Electoral Commission's move and labeled the move as a travesty of justice and called it legally baseless. These are some of the responses from some excerpts from the NDC's response after the EC disqualified Joanna Jan Cudjoe. The NDC said that the EC is in an astonishing display of incompetence, recklessness, and bad faith, had gone ahead to disqualify Joanna Jan Cudjoe. Their actions are based on the premise of an expired injunction that is no longer applicable. On what basis did they disqualify Joanna Jan, and on what legal grounds did the EC justify their disqualification? The NDC is asking the EC, and this is their question to the EC: are you so blinded by partisanship? The NDC further goes on to say that this is not legally sound, but deeply dangerous for the future of our democracy. We annulled the earlier injunction. This is nothing short of a travesty of justice, a violation of the rights of our candidates, and the rights of the violation of the people of Amenfi Central. The decision to disqualify Joanna Jan Cudjoe is totally baseless, morally indefensible, and a slap in the face of our democratic principle. The EC must explain to Ghanaians this blatant miscarriage of justice. This is the NDC on the EC after the EC disqualified its candidates. We spoke with the Deputy General Secretary, Mustafa Gbande, who said that the NDC will have representation on the ballot paper, and the EC shouldn't be looking forward to conduct any parliamentary elections in Amenfi Central if Joanna Jan Cudjoe is not on the ballot paper for Amenfi Central. So these are some of the lawsuits that have come up against the EC. Some of the cases that have come up against the EC in their disqualification of some of these candidates. Bernard Mona has sent this case to the High Court. The court will be sitting on the case today. We will bring you all of the updates following Bernard Mona suing the EC. He is expecting that he is reinstated on the ballot paper so that he can contest for the elections come December 7. So these are some of the cases in court against the EC. Know that we are going to the polls. The good people of Ghana will be going to the polls on December 7 to elect for themselves members of parliament and also the person who leads the country as the president of the country. We are looking forward to seeing all of these cases settled before we get into the elections come December 7. This is all for Politics Today on ABC in the morning. We'll be back. Stay with us. in the morning live on ABC News GH. As we enter the election, so many sound bites, so many comments, so many reactions by electorate. Some people understand what they are going to do on December 7th. Some are also going with the flow. Others will vote based on what another tells them. We have a video of one of such. He says he's going to vote. However, he just can't seem to know where his vote goes. And we will be looking at that on Happier. Happier is up next. Well, on Happier today, we are showing you what some people are going to do as we get into the elections. Do some people understand who they are voting for? Do they know who they are voting for? It seems that it is right that political parties begin to sensitize the electorate on who they want to vote for. So the NPP sensitizing electorates on where Bawumia is on the ballot paper, who Bawumia is, what his name is, the person who is representing NPP on the ballot. Same for the NDC, so that voters know who they are voting for and the angle on which they are voting. Let's take a look at this video. We'll be back.
John Mahama. John Mahama. John Mahama. John Mahama.
The man in our shot, he obviously wants to vote for NDC. He understands he's chanting the NDC slogan. However, he doesn't even know whom he is voting for. And when he was told that it is John Mahama, he says he won't vote for John Mahama. It doesn't mean that the political parties have a lot to do in sensitizing their supporters on who is representing them come December 7. NCC has a lot to do in educating the public on what to expect in the elections. Someone wants to vote for the NPP, someone wants to vote for the NDC, someone wants to vote for independent candidates, another wants to vote for CPP. However, if they cannot identify the party with the person standing for the party, the person who represents the party, then how do they vote and vote properly? Do they know the position of the party and the candidates, and do they know how they will be voting? In as much as it falls on the NCC to educate the public so much, so well, so that when we get into the elections, people will vote and vote well. The political parties also have their work cut out for them in order to get the electorate on their side. Because if an electorate wants to vote for Party A but cannot identify the party with the candidates or the aspirants on the tickets of the party, then there will be a disconnect, and then you may not have the votes that you're looking for. Somebody may have said, I'm voting for your party, but get to the ballot box, that the ballots that they get to their polling station that day, and because they are unable to identify the candidates with the party, they may vote to another point, spoil the ballot, or even not to vote at all. So we throw this to the NCC and to the various political parties to up their game ahead of the 2024 elections. Before we wrap up on ABC in the morning, something's trending on X, on the X platform. Salifu Amoako is trending. A little over a week ago, unfortunate incident happened involving 16-year-old Elrad, the son of Bishop Salifu Amoako, who on a top speed ran into another car. The car caught fire, an unfortunate, very gory and gruesome accident that led to the loss of 2 lives, 2 12-year-old girls. It's been a very, very sad weekend as the family and friends and loved ones remembered these girls a week after their demise. On Saturday, one of them, Mame Boateng, was laid to rest. One of them was laid to rest. Very, very sorrowful incident. Bishop Salifu Amoako released the video. He was distraught. He said that this was a sad incident. Many Ghanaians, a section of the public said that they did not receive the video in good faith and that it wasn't a show of remorse. The man of God was just putting on a performative front. Others also defended him by saying that he had tried. He was just being remorseful for what his son had done. However, yesterday a video surfaced where Bishop Amoako was chiding some of his congregation about some altercations that happened at the court when some members of his congregation had a scuffle with some journalists at court, and he said that they shouldn't compound to his issues. However, Ghanaians were very unhappy about what he said following, when he said that his son did not pull a gun on anyone to kill them and that it was an accident. Ghanaians are saying that this shows that Bishop Salifu Amoako is not remorseful for what his son did, and that if he were remorseful, he wouldn't say what he said. He's come under fire. A lot of Ghanaians have spoken against what he said and are saying that his son must face his son must face the consequences of his actions, and that every action has a reaction, and that he erred in his statement in saying that his son did not pull a gun on anyone. He said that he erred so much. Ghanaians are very unhappy. The girls who died has been sad, and we wish their families all of the peace that they can get. It's been a sad period, and Ghanaians say that Bishop Salifu Amoako should have kept quiet if he had nothing to say about the families of Mame Jumo Boateng and Justine Agbenu. Mame Jumo Boateng and Justine Agbenu, who died in that gory accident involving the son, the 16-year-old son of Bishop Salifu Amoako. There will be more coming up after all of these conversations. We'll do well to update you on ABC in the morning and keep you abreast with everything that is happening. So that is one of the things trending on X today, and it's on this note that we end ABC in the morning. Thank you for your time. We are glad that you've stayed with us since 6 a.m. up until now. We'll come to you tomorrow with more news, more conversations, and all of the things that are making the airwaves. For more news, you should visit our website, www.abcnewsgh.com, www.abcnewsgh.com. Interact with us on social media at abcnewsgh_. I am Abna Mante. Thank you for staying with us. Enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the